welcome to an episode that I'm really excited about. Mr. Dan Aykroyd has joined me in studio. I was at the Crystal Head Vodka, we'll call it party, at the Magic Castle the other night.
Sorry, I missed you there. I'm sorry. The valet kept asking my car to move, and so I had to move my car 3 times, and then I gave up, and I didn't go back inside. I'm very sorry to miss you. It was a fun night.
Yeah, I agree, and I knew I would see you today.
Here we are.
Here we are. I've been a fan for as long as I can remember. Always watched SNL, from Jump Street, and I always respected your work because you were such a wordsmith and so concise with the way you delivered your words. I felt like you take you and Steve Martin doing the Swingin' Czech Brothers. His was a sort of comical.
I love that man.
His was a sort of over the top kind of almost nonsense version of it.
He's a very stylish guy, that guy.
But you were doing the accent with precision. And I always thought as a young person, I thought, man, this guy is concise. Like all the characters, even Bassomatic stuff and, Jane, you ignorant, what'd you call her?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
Slut, right. It was all...
You miserable bag of slunk meat. You miserable bag of slunk meat.
Yes.
That was Jim Downey's writing right there, though. But, to address that about
Precision.
Concision, I grew up in a government town, and my parents worked for the government, and they used to, my mother typed my papers in college, my dad wrote up a lot of papers, and I worked for the government writing papers for several departments, the Penitentiary Service, the Department of Public Works, and there was one other job that I had there where I had to write a lot of, and you had to be very concise and precise and articulate in very little time because, the average government bureaucrat above me, the attention span wouldn't be there, so you had to grab them.
Yeah.
But slurry seal. It's slurry seal asphalt. Why use it? Why not use it? Cracks in the road along our Ontario highways, and then I would, lay it all out.
Yeah, it's interesting how things that wouldn't seem to feed or lend itself to another profession do. Like
carpentry.
Yes, carpentry. Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. I learned a lot. I mean, it's like being in the military and then sort of taking things you learned in the military into the private sector.
But I must tell you, having that as a skill in your life set of skills, you'll never be replaced by AI. A carpenter will not be replaced. I don't see AI picking up a nail gun or a drill. As far as electricians and plumbers, best professions to be in, you're no way some AI robot is going to get in and do a U-pipe under a sink.
Right.
So you have that skill. I don't really have a real skill like that.
Yeah, well, you don't need it. You're super talented.
Well, thank you, sir. I've worked with great people that were great collaborators, and all the work that I did enjoy doing is from that. And I got all the right breaks in that, and I backed it up with whatever skills I do have. But to have a hard skill like that, it's quite admirable.
It's funny, in Canada they call that what's under the sink a U-pipe because it's shaped like a U. I've never heard it. We call it a trap.
A trap, yeah.
Yes. But that's a Canadian versus American thing.
Get that AI robot to get out there and clean that trap. It ain't going to happen.
No, I get it. I've been pushing for this for a while, which is, when they were taking away all the trades in schools and replacing them with music appreciation. As much as I love music, playing the oboe or the cello is fine, but it's easier to make a living if you know a trade.
Well, the ideal would be for the student to go in, make his oboe in the wood shop, and go out and play it. I mean, but there's no money in schools to do any programs anymore.
So you should know that I had a recovered memory last night of going and seeing the Blues Brothers movie when it came out at in Century City, where they used to have a nice big movie theater.
That's a nice screen.
And they had the Blues Brothers mobile parked in front of the theater. And there's a few movies that I talk about that are like seminal movies, like important movies. And I feel that way about the Blues Brothers. I thought you take comedy, you take music, you take action, you take all these iconic people of the Cab Callaways and Aretha Franklins and Ray Charles and stuff, and you capture them all at sort of the height of their powers. And then lots of little things in the movie that I always appreciated and always thought was funny, even when I didn't even know what I was going to do for a living. But just for instance, the scene where you're in the cafe with Aretha Franklin and Matt Guitar Murphy's in there, and you and John are sitting there at the counter, sort of not paying much attention, but then at some point get up and get into the dance and then slide back down onto your stool as if nothing happened. I just thought that was like weird little pieces of genius interspersed in that movie.
I have a crystalline memory of that exact moment the first time we were rehearsing it. First of all, we had Carlton Johnson, who was the Temptations choreographer. So
oh, really?
We had the best there. And I remember being there sitting and just turning on the stool and just watching Aretha. And when she started to sing and started to move, she looked so cute. A combination of amusement and awe just hit my stomach, and I froze. I was paralyzed watching her do her dance and her commencement of singing that part. And then I see John starting to move, and it was like Marshall Earp when he drew his 6-gun. Time stopped. He said, the reason I was able to get a bullet out as soon as the barrel left the holster was because I took my time. I took my time. And that was a slow moment for him in his gunfights, and for me, a very slow moment where I didn't think I would be able to get off. I thought my knees would buckle. Then John moved, and then I overcame it, and then we did it. But I was awed by her talent, and it paralyzed me.
Yeah,
moment.
I love the Ray Charles scene. I love that song. I love There's No Action in
that
these
song
keyboards.
was written by Philadelphia songwriters. I don't recall who, but Ray didn't write that song, Shake a Tail Feather. But we needed that song at that point in the movie for that type of energy as a dance number, also to feature him on the keyboards. And so Ray was such a good sport. He recorded 2 songs for films that I did, where he was so great, and there's nothing wrong with the action on this piano.
I love that line.
And he plays, and we had to record the song with him. He coached us through the vocals all the way through. He was our producer, basically, on that track. And also for the film that I directed with Chevy and Demi Moore and John Candy, which I like, called Nothing But Trouble.
Sure.
He recorded Tony Bennett's The Good Life for me, and so that was such a pleasure to work with him in the studio, and then to have him just nail it on film. Yeah. So you gotta thank the city of Chicago, African American culture first. The city of Chicago, African American culture first. The city of Chicago, and John Landis really for what that movie really became, because John is a true cineast, and it needed his hand desperately from the original concept. To have a real filmmaker come in there and make that movie. The scene where the Bluesmobile falls apart and at Cook County Building, and we're about to run in, he just cuts away to 2 statues there, ruminating,
yes.
Looking down. Just that. So the work of a master.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I was doing my homework last night about the Blues Brothers. I was looking at the cast, and you were young. You were 28. I believe. But I was
27 when we started.
I was completely blown away that Matt Guitar Murphy was 51. That's insane, because
he looked 30.
The whole band looked to be about 30 at the time. Steve Cropper and Donald Duck Dunn and all that. And the idea that Matt Guitar Murphy, who looked to be in better shape than everyone in the cast,
he worked out. He pushed weights.
Was in his 50s when he did that. I was I mean, that's the greatest black don't crack example on the planet.
Garrett Morris is another one.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And it's so true. Yeah, it's so true.
He looked the same age as everyone.
And I have a friend named Bobby Rush. He's getting up to almost 100 years old.
The singer?
Yes, singer, harp player, dancer, composer, writer, superstar. Veteran of the Chitlin circuit. Oh, I love Bobby. Love him. Yeah. So another example. He's so youthful and so handsome. And yeah, God, it was. The Blues Brothers. John was superb in that film, Blue Sheep. The scene where we leave the country and western bar, and we haven't paid for the beer, and so John's little speech walking across the. Sir, well, I usually, I go and I the way we do this is I go to my brother's car and I take out my checkbook and I put it on something like that. You put it on the dashboard.
He put it on the lid of the glove box.
The lid of the glove box.
That's where I make my checks out.
That's where I make my checks out and I put it, and it's so meticulous. And then we get in and he was just beautiful the way he played that scene. And so then we take off and that movie I'm proud of. That's a AAA. I'm happy about that one.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of funny movies and there's plenty of serious movies, but there's not as many important movies. To me, that was an important movie. I just thought that was my take on it, even at first blush. So it must have been hard to make.
All movies.
But this concept is sort of bizarre to explain to a studio.
Oh, you'd never make it today. They would say, excuse me, what? Catholic? What? Wait a minute, hold on. Wrecking so many cars and what? Well, no. Practically no CGI, I don't know. No, they wouldn't do it.
By the way, I should definitely throw out a plug. crystalheadvodka.com is where you go for about the purest vodka you're ever going to put in your gullet. It's delicious.
I believe so. I really do believe so. I wouldn't come in here and tell you a lie about that because there's no fusel oils in it, no glycerin, no sugar, no limonene at all. A lot of other products do it to mask the smell and scent of alcohol. Open that up, it smells just clean ethyl alcohol and made in Canada, and I'm quite proud of it. And purity is a good word you can use for it. And I just wanted to build something better for the home bar. And it's our bottles are unique, made by John Alexander. They can search engine him. He's a Texas sculptor and painter, one of my best friends. We met when my beautiful girlfriend dumped me for him.
Really?
Yeah, in '74. Rosie Schuster, the writer on Saturday Night Live.
Was your girlfriend?
She was, yeah.
And she dumped you
and she
for
dumped
him?
me for John Alexander, and then John and I became good friends and started this company. So that's our bone bottle. That's corn, peaches and cream corn. They're black. Is made out of blue Weber agave that is made from the plant that tequila is made out of. Now there's no other tequila, no other vodka made out of the tequila plant that we know of. So you could do anything you want. Margaritas or that with it. It's very long and earthy. And the corn again is dry, crisp, vanilla sweet. And then we got the wheat bottle there, the iridescent bottle. That's Sunset Wheat. That's more of a peppery, anise kind of flavor, and you'd have a good margarita out of that. And then our spatter or our pride bottle at that season of the year. But we should all be proud all the time. But at this pride season of the year, we do. In June, we do bottles, and that was one that we did a survey, and there was a contest, and that design was come up with. It's very Jackson Pollock and kind of Jasper Johns.
Yeah, these. There's a lot of vodka out there, but this is a conversation piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This
This
isn't for drinking in the park alone out of a bag.
Oh, I don't know.
You could.
I would say you can drink it with 5 people. I wouldn't drink it alone.
I'm saying.
I think is there a park and is there a bag? And there's 1, 2, 3,
there's
4,
enough
5.
of
Let's
us.
go.
Yeah, and it's good because
I put it on ice.
I was drinking it all Monday night at the event.
Yeah, it's tasty. It's tasty. Yeah, I'm proud of it. I really am. It's made in Canada. I love going around the world and saying that. I like Canada, where I was born, and where I live part of the year, and and it's great to be living in the Western world. There's an old blues song. Oh, this world is in an uproar. Things all going wrong. The way the Reds is cutting up. We ain't gonna be here long. I'm gonna dig myself a hole. Move my baby down underground. When I come up, ain't gonna be no wars around. Had a friend from Israel in the other day, from Tel Aviv. He stayed at the farm, and he said, Dan, what is it like to live in a land where there's no war? This question, here I am, in my 1932 Pierce Arrow 1604 limousine, driving him for a little ride. And
16-cylinder.
No, 12. But
12.
Pierce didn't make it 16, but the Cadillac
did a 16.
And I believe Packard did as well.
Yes.
And here I am driving through the bucolic countryside, and in the
Are we
car,
in Canada?
Yeah,
or
in Canada. We're in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, I'm in this summer. I'm in the Pierce. We're driving to the drugstore to get an ice cream, and he tells, "What is it like to live in a country without war?" And I thought, boy, do I take things for granted, around this place.
Well, unfortunately, the way we're wired is, when we're out of real problems, we just find problems and call them problems. we're on a constant quest for problems, but our problems are not the world's problems, and they would love to have our problems. Let's say our, I mean U.S. and in Canada. So we just move on to, we got a male who's a biological male, and he's swimming against females, and that's our war. We create, we'll find it.
Yeah,
it's the rich Beverly Hills housewife syndrome. Oh, what a disaster today was! The pedicure and the manicure van that came by was 20 minutes late, and then the sushi was dry. It's horrible. Yeah, but that's what
these are real crises to real people. Yeah, it helps distract, I suppose. But I think, God, what are we going to do? We just have to have positive eyes out there, the cone of positivity, and we have to get with like minds to try to do something about all of us, and just be kinder to everywhere in humankind. I don't know if we're going to require some kind of Deus ex machina intervention from somewhere to smarten us humans up, because we're a pretty heinous species right now, generally.
Well, as you and I were talking about off the air, and as I've brought up a million times, I never thought in the year 2023 we'd be dealing with human trafficking and tunnels under borders and terrorism and fentanyl. and squalor and poverty, and I thought we'd be flying around in George Jetson's, car, and everyone would be wearing a Mylar jumpsuit, and it'd be some sort of utopia because war was behind us.
Hoverboards, I guess. Yeah, there are pockets of the world that are at peace, and there is harmony. Santa Monica, California, harmony, peace, joy by the sea. It's beautiful there, beautiful houses and beautiful shops and lovely wide boulevards and 60,000 homeless.
Right.
So the underside and the overside will always be there. We're living in, frankly, medieval times. I drive very carefully in the car. I don't drive at certain hours at night, have a gated place to live, lock up at night, bring my family close. Whereas I would like to take my family and let them run in the park at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, with a bag and a bottle.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But no. We have to be so guarded now.
Well, what we're living in, especially in California, is you have Jay-Z and Beyonce buy $200 million house in Malibu, but in order to get there, you have to drive through a homeless encampment.
They got a deal, by the way. It's worth $700. So,
So that's where we're at. It's ultra rich, and then people just expiring on the streets in squalor.
Well, thankfully, knowing people like that, they're going to drive through their driveway, see that, and immediately start to act to try to alleviate and help in some way, because that's the kind of people they are. There are other owners of $200 million mansions in the world that I don't think would think the same way.
So I was reading up on you, and I saw Asperger syndrome, and I saw
that's a self-diagnosis. I was never.
All right,
that's me. That's me going. Well, why do I do this sometimes, and why do I do that, and reading books but I've had no medical opinion formally. I've had no one, have never had a doctor say it to me. It's just this.
No, I know. I've been described. I've had it foisted on me, but I've never been diagnosed officially, and I'm not sure if you can officially totally diagnose it. But I have some questions for you. Do you have hypervigilance disorder?
I am vigilant. I am aware. But I don't think I'm hypervigilant or paranoid. But I'm definitely aware of surroundings, of vehicles, of being followed sometimes. Aware that make sure that doesn't happen. Walking in a big city, someone clocks me because of my profile or they know the face. I immediately become aware of that, and I'm ready for the encounter, whether gentle or not.
Right. No, I have that too. It's not paranoia. It's just a sort of noticing of everything.
Oh, and I think I tell my daughters always, be aware of where you are, who's watching you as you go from your door to your car. What car is familiar the next day? Is it that one always there? Is that a neighbor or, and when you go in at night, get in quickly, lock the door, don't dawdle with the groceries and be aware.
But one of the things that I've realized when I talk to people who have this sort of hypervigilance thing, one of the markers for it is sleep. It's when you sleep, do you have to have some white noise going? Do you have to have an eye shade on? Does the room have to be cool and dark? Because I know people who can just fall asleep on any airplane on their back
Jimmy
holding a drink.
Belushi, there he is, flip-flops, in commercial, tiny little bag, dog, now he travels with, and the eye shades. And he can do it right just like that. I
Envious.
No, yeah.
But what about you?
Cool and dark, for sure. I like that much better. Don't have to have the white noise. Don't want any clock radios near me. Usually a good book will put me out,
So you don't need like the ceiling fan going even during the winter time.
No, I don't like fans. And in fact, that was a big contention in my marriage with Donna.
You don't like fans.
I don't like fans or air conditioning. She's from the South, Southern girl, loved them, and we had a lot of squabbles over that. I'd turn it off when she'd go to sleep, then she'd wake up and put it back on.
I got to say, this is an all-time first. And the reason is guys normally get married to the fan, and women say it's too cold. I've never seen the script flip.
No, not for Miss Donna. No way. No. But I do like a book, and I like quiet and dark and cool. And I am so fortunate that even with the multiple times that I arise to urinate at night, I can get right back to REM Delta within a minute or two. And I have deep, beautiful REM Delta episodes, 45 minutes to 50, sometimes a little longer, mini ones spurt. And I wake up and I feel extremely rested because when when you're dreaming, you're in REM Delta. You're out when you're dreaming. You could put a pin and you wouldn't feel it.
So let's go back with you a little bit. What do you think you're going to be doing when you're in high school? What's the plan, if there is a plan?
In high school,
when you were in high school.
When I was in high school.
Yeah. What'd you think you'd be doing for a living?
Oh, well, I was studying. Well, I didn't really know in high school. I'd done some plays and I'd done some theater, and it was fun and that. But I knew you can't make a living at doing show business. Not if you're in Ottawa. There's no way to make a living in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And now that's changed. There's a big film industry up there and lots of actors and a big community. But then there were very few outlets. I did plays. I worked with Ottawa Little Theater. But I thought, as a profession, how? No. So I worked and apprenticed at the Solicitor General of Canada Penitentiary Service as a clerk. And I looked at Carleton University, and I looked at some of the courses, abnormal psych, deviant psych. So I thought I was headed towards a career in corrections, and probably would have ended up as a low-grade prison guard, drinking with my buddies, at the local tavern and going into work and trying to get through the hell of working in a federal prison.
And was the comedy always kind of in you, but you just hadn't realized it? And the environment wasn't conducive to realizing it?
No, it was. My parents were very funny, and there was always humor there. And I did take some improv classes, and I had very funny friends in high school who were great influences on me, really absurdists and, monologists. And I took a lot of the characters out of high school and sort of, and used them kind of later on. Just in terms of the rhythm of speech. And my uncles were very funny. Do you know that Great Outdoors, the movie I made with Candy?
Sure.
Yeah, so that character, Roman Craig, is my Uncle Peter and my Uncle Andy. That's, that. They chop like Burt Lancaster. They chop the words like that. There's always, if something's going to come out of the mouth, it's going to be precision. You're going to hear it, it'll be loud. Make sure they're heard. That you could say, can you make sure I'm heard, or can you pass the salt? Pass the salt and get it over here now. It's that clipped, so.
I recently saw Uncle Buck for some reason about 2 weeks ago, and I thought, I miss John Candy. There's certain performers, you never want anyone to go before their time, but there are certain ones I don't need. John Candy, when he passed, I was like, look, the two Johns, Belushi and Candy, those guys were like, oh, man, I'm going to miss these guys. There's a lot of work ahead of those guys.
I know. I think about it often.
Did you know John Candy well?
Oh, yeah, we made The Great Outdoors. And also, he was in the Blues Brothers. If you'll remember, he played Burton Mercer, the parole officer. And
he was the guy. Let's see.
The parole officer.
Yeah, Orange Whip.
That was
Orange
Candy,
Whip.
Yeah. And we did Second City together in Toronto, so we were very old friends. In fact, when the first day we met, he was a Kleenex salesman for Kimberly-Clark. Turned out he was a master of clothes. He was always turned out beautifully. The beige blazer and the beige, pants and brown shoes and the beige Pontiac Laurentian to match, and he sold Kleenex for Kimberly-Clark. And on the first day we met, and I was a mail truck driver in Toronto, so we were both, working in other things that we didn't think would lead into show business. But then we auditioned for Second City and got into that first Toronto company with Gilda Radner, Jerry Salzberg, Eugene Levy, and then eventually Catherine O'Hara. Our teachers were Joe Flaherty and Brian Doyle Murray.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you always see something in him like you went, oh, he's got the goods?
Oh, no. Everyone loved Aunt Candy, as we used to call him. He was such a great host. He'd be the one to leave the humbugs like your aunt have out at Christmas, the little candies, and, always soliciting a drink, get a drink for you. Johnny Toronto, Johnny LaRue for sure. Of course, we always started in sort of, at the day we met, doing voices and people from our past, and we were of like mind, and went on to a great friendship until he died because he had a congenital heart defect. Plus, he did like to drink, but it wasn't so much that; it was the thing that killed his dad very early.
Did you have that same kinship when you first met with John Belushi? Did you feel like when I met Jimmy Kimmel, I was like, oh, this guy's the guy.
I know, you're great buddies, great pals.
I got to stay close to this guy.
That's great.
And I recognized it in him, even though I was a
it's
carpenter.
Love. Let's be honest, it's love. I mean, you love him, and
I do,
and he loves you.
Yes.
What a great thing to have a friend like that.
But I didn't feel that with a lot of people. I meet a lot of people, and I go, okay, this is not going to go on forever.
No, it's the 3 to 10 minute rule. You give them 3 to 10 minutes, and if they can't engage, if you don't feel engaged by then they should move on with their lives.
Right. So we had a mutual feeling, even though he wasn't doing much. He was doing local sports on a FM radio station out here, and I was doing nothing. I wasn't in show business at all. I was a boxing coach. But we met each other, and we're like, this is something, and we got to do something with this. And if you're lucky enough, you'll have a few of those in your life.
Yeah.
Was it that with Belushi?
It was. First night I met him, it was a blizzard, February, Second City Fire Hall. We heard legendary Belushi coming up to recruit for National Lampoon. He wanted to get Gilda to go down there to the radio show. And So we hosted him at Second City, and the first moment I saw him, he opened the door to the alley. He flung the door open, walked in, completely inadequately dressed for the weather, in a cable knit sweater and a silk scarf around his neck, and a driver's cap, that octagonal Lee J. Cobb type driver's cap, that you see in the old movies, and jeans and white sneakers, and a pack of butts in his hand, and smoking one. And he made an entrance such as a great actor should enter a room, and as impactful as I'm sure he would have wanted it to be, even though he wasn't conscious of it being impactful. And then that night, I think he did some favorites. He hit the wall. He did, The Angel. He did Cocker, I think, and he did Lee J. Cobb. He did a lot of great stuff that we'd heard about that he'd done in Chicago. And we, that very night, went back to my after-hours club at 505 Queen Street East, the Speakeasy, and there was a record there playing Straight Up by Downchild Blues Band, and he asked me, "Oh, that's really good music." I said, "Well, John, you're from Chicago, you know about blues." He said, "Yeah, but that vocalist is good, and that harp, and that." And I said, "Well, it's blues, just good old blues." He said, "I'm into heavy metal, mainly, Grand Funk and Cream." And I said, "Well, that all comes from the blues, as you know." And he really listened to that record. And by God, we came up with the Blues Brothers that very night. Like, well, we should put a band together. I said, "You sing, I play a little harp, come on, let's." And by the time I got to Chicago, to New York to do SNL, he had a stack of records that come up high as the desk here. And he started to do his research.
Into the blues.
And so from that we built the act. So the very first night we met, we got to see his comedy firsthand and get to know the guy and come up and concoct the Blues Brothers. So that was pretty.
What sold him on you?
I think the love of the music and just the kind of anarchy of the way I lived. I lived below this Speakeasy on a main street. 505 Queen had a store window there, and so we ran the bar wide open, like right people you could look in and see, a bar, a full open unlicensed bar running there, and I slept downstairs and sometimes upstairs, and just the people we had coming and going, the artists, the scene. He liked that, and I think he saw also kind of a soul and a creative spirit that maybe needed a little guidance and rescuing. And that was me.
Well, I want to talk about the formation of the Blues Brothers and the band and Booker T and the MGs and all that stuff. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Dan Aykroyd right after this. Let me tell you about Meter. The holidays are here, and we get to stuff our faces, and we get to shop. So I got a must-have tool for you. If you love cooks, and you love cooking, and there's a cook in your life, well, this is the perfect gift. Meter. Smart Meat Thermometer tracks the temperature of your meat and lets you know when it's ready to come out of the oven, the smoker, the air fryer, or the grill. That's right. It's a beautiful piece of technology. It's, we've all overcooked stuff and it's too dry, and undercooked stuff, and everyone got botulism. None of that with Meter. Now, don't overcook, don't undercook. Get that turkey just right. And what about that holiday prime rib? That's right. Meter comes with cloud service for limited range, and you can monitor and cook while watching TV or even running to the store. You can keep an eye on what you're doing. You have to keep walking back and forth and checking it. It's a perfect tool for holiday cooking. It's a perfect gift. It's Meter, right, Dawson?
Shop Meter.com for the best kitchen tool out there and make this season stress-free. Use it for your holiday cooking or start shopping for your Christmas gifts. That's MEATER.com.
Simply Safe. There's no wrong time to protect your home, but this fall, well, that's an especially good time because you can get up to 50% off a brand new Simply Safe home security system. Best home security system of 2023, so says U.S. News and World Report. We've always used these guys. They've been with us for a million years. They're a great company. Stuff works, very ergonomic. Set it up yourself, and it's fast. 24/7 professional monitoring, under $1 a day, half the cost of traditional home security systems. Money back guarantee. You get a 60-day risk-free trial. If you don't love it, return your entire system for a full refund and for a limited time. Save 50% off of any new system with Fast Protect plan. Visit SimpliSafe. That's right. SimpliSafe.com. 2 I's in there. SimpliSafe.com/Adam. Get that 50% off. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
We're on a mission for God.
If you said the Blues Brothers,
We're on a mission from God.
You're correct. Now, back to the show.
Dan Aykroyd is in studio. Crystal Head Vodka is a wonderful product that
Thank you.
Dan has created, and I'm here to tell you it's the real deal because I sampled my share of it at the party at the Magic Castle the other night. So it's wonderful, and you can go to crystalheadvodka.com and treat yourself. So I was doing a little research, and I didn't know that the Blues Brothers had the Booker T and some of the Booker T and the MGs in it, and so I was looking up Steve Cropper and Donald Duck, yeah, Dunn, and so then how did you cherry pick those guys? How did the band form? And these are some of the best musicians in the world.
Well, particularly Cropper and Dunn were Otis Redding's guitar players, and they played on all of the Stax Volt hits. Mm-hmm. So Schaefer and Malone and I and Ruben and
Paul
John,
Schaefer?
Yeah, Paul Schaefer. Basically, they were the first sort of house band when we warmed up the audience. First couple of times, we walked in the door with the concept. We already had the uniforms. We already had what we were going to do. The concept of front men fronting great musicians. Schaefer, Ruben, Malone, and Marini were the band at that point. And then Malone said, "You guys, you should get in touch with Cropper and Dunn." And I'm like, wait a minute, hold, Cropper and Dunn of Stax Volt, like they're going to want to have anything to do with us? And Malone said, "Oh yeah, they know that you're doing this with veneration for the venerables and the veterans. They know you're doing this out of respect and love for the music and a desire to showcase it and revive it in some sense. And they're two of the best guitar players in the world. Reach out." We did, and they joined us, and that really made the Blues Brothers happen as a coalesced entity, to have Duck Dunn driving the band with his bass in concert with Steve Jordan, our 19-year-old drummer at the time, who was now the Stones drummer.
Oh, he is now.
Yeah. So to have those two driving the band with Steve on rhythm and lead guitar, and then Matt Murphy on essentially, Chicago blues lead. We had a Memphis-Chicago fusion band that, well, it couldn't be stopped until John died. We were still doing stuff, and we were going to do more.
Yeah, they. By the way, I don't know if they're great actors, but they pulled it off in the movie. They
did.
They all absolutely pulled it off.
In both movies.
Yeah.
And the second one is a small g, good, comparable product to the first, because the soundtrack of the second one is quite outstanding. Erykah Badu's worth the price of admission, and there's a lot of good stuff in that too. And they pulled off the acting, and they came back and they looked the same. And by the way, Fat Me looked the same as well in that movie. So, I did lose the weight, and I hold the two of them up, and I go, not bad.
Yeah.
For many years later, however it was.
So John passed out here in Los Angeles in
Bungalow 3 at the Chateau Marmont.
82.
82. March 5th, 82.
82. Yeah, I remember where I was. I remember when John Lennon died,
sure
and I remember when Belushi died.
I was on stage with Marshall Tucker Band when Lennon
Heard
was
it in
shot.
the Love Song. Is that his song? Heard in the love.
Yeah, I think so. For some reason, I got up to play harp and I walked off stage. And Ron Delsener, the great promoter, said, John Lennon's been shot. And of course, you think John Lennon, well, he's a god. He'll whatever they shot him with, they'll pluck it out and he'll be walking around. That just because he was shot doesn't mean he dies. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And in Belushi, of course, I remember when I heard about that, I was writing Ghostbusters at our office in New York very early one morning there, and Bernie Brillstein called and told me what had happened, and then I thought, I got to get to Judy right away. I can't have her hearing this on the radio, the TV, or seeing it in a newspaper. So I ran from 20th Street down to Morton Street, down Fifth Avenue, and I ran over to Judy, and I had to tell her, which was one of those moments, a crystalline moment again that took courage and. That will remain with me forever, but it had to be done. I couldn't have the media telling her first.
It was back when there was some lead time before the evening news.
Not much, I'll tell you. I ran.
Well, not much, but not Twitter. I mean, now it's right there.
Of course, that right. But the newspapers had already hit the sidewalk. I ran by, and there, Belushi dead at 33, right there in a bundle of the Daily News.
Wow.
Or the New York Post.
But she hadn't seen it yet.
No, she hadn't seen it. No, thank God.
They're married, right?
Childhood sweethearts, high school sweethearts.
What was her reaction?
Well, a big part of her world ended, but she's strong, and she always was strong and still strong today. And she just picked up his legacy and helped to keep the thing alive, and went on to meet a new guy and get close to his family, and her strength and I think her Midwestern style resilience, and also in a way she sort of knew it was coming, or there was going to be a disaster related to his appetites, and there was maybe a bit of mental preparation that she had for it, but it was a rough one. You can imagine.
You were writing Ghostbusters
for him.
Oh, he was going to be.
I was writing a line for him.
Writing a line for Belushi.
Writing a line. Well, yeah. Yeah.
What part was he going to play?
He was just going to be, one of the poor schlumps that has to go out and do this horrible extermination job. Just, one of four of us. He would have found his voice. I was really, really just writing a template for him, and then we were, of course, going to find, we'd find our voice there as we began to work on it. I was waiting for him to come back to New York.
Man, writing an actual line for him.
Yeah. He was supposed to come back that next week, but
I have.
Yeah, that's the fentanyl today is what's destroying so many people, and nobody cares. The people who ship it up here, they don't care. But he had it was a cocaine heroin mix, speedball they call it, and that. Because he'd been drinking and he was smoking, and his respiratory was weakened a little bit, and the woman who injected him did not mean to kill him any more than I did. I mean, we don't, it was not not something she wanted to happen. It's just a tragedy and a result of drugs of that order being the currency of the day, which they were back then. Powders and pills were strong, Mandrax and Quaaludes and
people didn't even really think cocaine was bad for you back then.
No.
They'd break it out at every party.
Yeah.
It was sort of a...
It's today still.
Yeah, I guess
it's big today still. But a lot of heart attacks and stuff in hospital rooms from that today,
I have a Ghostbusters question.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so uniquely qualified to answer this. Because now, Dawson, you got to find the Bar-Kays song. So Reitman, he directed Ghostbusters?
He did, and helped write it and produced it, yeah.
I worked on a project with Reitman and Jimmy Kimmel for a while, and I found Reitman to be tough.
Oh, one of the toughest.
Old-time
movie mogul.
Like, pretty much got in your face, sort of told you, he would tell me and Jimmy, go change this in the script and go change that, and then meet me up at my house in Santa Barbara, and we'll go over it. And we'd come back and he'd go, "Did you change this and change that?" And we'd go, "Well, we'd worked a little bit." And he'd go, "Why are you fucking wasting my time? Jesus Christ, what are we doing here?" I mean, he would literally start yelling at us in his
Well,
office.
he was paying for your services.
He
and
was.
He was sponsoring your vision, and
We didn't take offense to it, but I realized this guy's tough.
Well, he was, and he, I hope he's resting in a realm that we can reach him soon. He was exacting and meticulous, and no one could feel an audience better in terms of cutting a movie or putting a movie together. No one could feel an audience comedy nerves better than Ivan. No, he was classic old school Louis B. Mayer, type executive and mogul. Yeah.
So the question that you're uniquely qualified to answer, which is, I know Huey Lewis well, and I know there was the whole lawsuit with Ray Parker Jr.,
Right.
and then I Want a New Drug, and
Yeah.
I guess they went to Huey first song, and he didn't provide it, so Ray Parker did one, and then there was a lawsuit because Ray Parker's Ghostbusters sounded something like I Want a New Drug.
It did. There's certain figures in there, we would say, that were exactly like Want a New Drug, and they settled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my feeling is My Sweet Lord and He's So Fine don't sound the same to me. That was another famous
Well, those
lawsuit.
two, there was a similarity there.
You think so?
I believe so, and there was a settlement.
So
and
do
Huey
we-
Lewis was basically paid as if he would have had a sample in there, I think.
Now you got to find,
That doesn't
Ray
take
Parker
away.
Jr.
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the Ghostbusters hit.
No, it was a huge hit.
And Ray is so talented. He's one of the best guitarists I've ever heard in my life.
Ray Parker.
Yeah, Ray Parker.
But I think long before this, the Bar-Kays had a song that sounded more like Ghostbusters
Really?
than I Want a New Drug. Have you
what-
ever heard that?
No, what song is that?
Well,
I don't know.
We'll listen to Ghostbusters first. So I was always like, sorry, Huey, but the Bar-Kays have a song called Soulfinger that predates I Want a New Drug by 15 years, and that to me sounds like closer to Ghostbusters.
Huey's song didn't have the chorus in it.
Yeah.
It did? Huey's song?
I don't-
Want to do drug? I don't think it did.
I don't think it did either. I don't know if you
But
know
it definitely
Huey,
had
but
that
great
same
guy.
rhythmic guitar pattern.
As they went to Huey first, if they went to the Bar-Kays first, then maybe the Bar-Kays would have a case.
Yeah.
But it's haunted me for many a year, and I'm glad you're here to
Well,
hear it.
it was such a giant hit, and it's such a great song that, my view is, however it came together, and Huey did get compensated, although the Bar-Kays didn't. And you would have them. It sort of overrode any concerns and just went on to be something that is instantly associated with a good time.
How's Bill Murray? I don't know if you know him well.
The Hurricane?
Yeah, the Hurricane. I find him so interesting.
You
Yeah.
and 6.8 other billion people on this planet.
Yes, but
Yeah.
is there something we don't know about him?
He deserves your interest and your sense of him being an enigma and sense of him, being unpredictable. Your any kind of opaque view you have of him, it's all justified. He, whether however you view him, he is. He's all of everything. He's all of those things. He's like Sai Baba. He's all of that, and that is that.
Yeah, well,
He's a demigod. I believe. I think he's demi-divine. Honestly,
Really?
yes. And I get to hang with him from time to time. But as I say, just whatever your perceptions are of Billy, whether good or bad or beautiful or alarming, in your interactions with him or perceptions of him, public persona and work, the way you've enjoyed his work over the years, it's all genuine. And, he's a giant talent and really fun to be with because it's a hurricane. It's, a whirlwind. And he would give you not only the shirt, but the skin off your back. off his back. The skin off his back. He would give you the skin off his back. Yeah.
So early days of SNL, did you guys feel like it was almost week to week? Nothing had been established. Now they're on year 40 or something. But I mean, at the beginning,
they're at 50.
50. Yeah, right.
Next year, 2025.
Crazy.
Yeah.
At the beginning, were you guys? You didn't have that feeling of security, did you?
No, indeed not. I didn't know whether it would last past the first 3 shows. But wisely, Lauren said, no, I'm not going to do 1 pilot or 2 or 3. I need 7. I need 7. So by him holding to get the 7, by then, once that 7th show happened, then it was realized that it was going to work. But up until then, none of us knew. And Lauren, I don't think even knew, because you don't know in that business. You could say he was pretty sure of himself and his ability to pull it off, and so he asked for 7 and got that, and that kind of set it up. If there had been only 1 show or 2, I don't know what would have happened.
When you left, was it just because you want to broaden your horizons, you wanted to do features and that sort of stuff?
No, purely Blues Brothers. We had to finish the movie. That was the sole reason we left. It's because we had a lovely time in Chicago that summer, and then come fall, we're still shooting, and there's work to be done in the stages out in Universal, and we just couldn't do both, and so it was time to leave. But that is the sole reason, not really to do movies or to get into that business. It wasn't why we left, other than specifically to finish that 1 movie and then see where things went from there. But our sole focus was just getting that done and out. So we couldn't do both.
And you guys then toured after that.
We did. We toured by car and by one of Elvis's planes, an old Convair 880 that he had.
Really?
Yeah.
What was the interior of that plane like?
It was,
a lot of burgundy?
Nevada. Yeah, casino, casino Nevada look. I think it had been refitted since he used it. So we had a wonderful 20-city tour with the band, and we filled 10,000-seat houses and got to sing and play the music live, and it was.
The album was, I don't know if it was number 1, but it was definitely a hit.
Well, the first album, Briefcase Full of Blues, was a number 1 album. It sold over 4.5 million copies back then. Rihanna would be happy with those numbers today, or maybe not, but close to it. Those were, impressive numbers back then, and even today. Because the album was good, because the record was good, the songs were good, the band was great. People understood that, John and I were front men for this great band. Made in America was the tour record, and there's some great songs on there, too.
Oh, I had that album. Yeah. Now Dawson's got to find something I should have told him before.
Well, going back to Miami is one of the greatest cuts I think we ever did. That features the horns beautifully.
I'll tell you one that features the horns beautifully. She Caught the Katy.
Yeah, Taj Mahal's tune. Yeah, Taj Mahal's tune. Sure. Yeah.
I love that song. I love your version of that song. This is some horn work here.
Oh yeah, and we played in the prison yard at Joliet Prison for about 8,000 to 10,000 people who were spilled out of the parking lot at a beautiful concert at night, right there in the prison yard where we shot the movie.
In the prison?
In the prison yard when we shot the movie. Now it's abandoned. It's now a tourist.
It's like
under
Alcatraz.
Construction for tourists. Yeah, but wow, what a night that was! Just beautiful. Kind of bring it all full circle there. We have quite an extensive tour schedule coming up. We'll be playing in Oklahoma in July, in Atlanta in January, in Delaware in June, and things we just did this big gig in Nebraska at the Performing Arts Center there, and it's great to be able to still play and act as cultural preservationists, which is what we are.
Well, you certainly brought the blues to a young white guy from North Hollywood for sure, because there was no blues culture in North Hollywood, California, where I grew up, and just hadn't heard of any of it. So, in a way, that's it's an accomplishment, but it's also a service. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know she caught the Katie. I just wouldn't go that deep.
I'm happy to say that I have people coming up to me all the time saying that, that they picked up guitar or drums or harmonica, that they got into blues and they play in a blues band, or they went on to a career in blues, some of them quite well known. So, yeah, I guess we served in that way, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve. Mission from God for sure. Still on it. Because there are no blues stations other than Sirius XM radio.
Yeah.
There are no blues shows anymore. I had almost 25 years of the House of Blues Radio Hour and Elwood Bluesmobile Hour, and I was able to sell tickets and records and talk the careers up of all these wonderful new artists coming up. I couldn't tell you now who's in their mid-20s and touring and playing, because I lost my radio show. They turned it into country talk or something.
Yeah, I remember when you picked up John from the prison, and he was pissed off that you'd traded in the Bluesmobile
For a microphone.
Well, once he heard it was a microphone, he was okay with it.
Yeah. The Cadillac, trade the Cadillac for a microphone. That's right, yeah. And he didn't like the lighter, yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We got one more segment with Dan Aykroyd, and we'll do that right after this. Let me tell you about Angie Homeowners. It's a lot of work to own a home. Whether it's everyday maintenance, repairs, or dream projects, it can be hard to even know where to start. All you need is Angie, your home for everything home. Find a skilled local pro who will deliver quality and experience. Over 20 years of home service experience. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie handles the rest. Look, you're busy. You don't have time to do all this stuff. Let Angie handle it. Take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit online. Visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. ANGI.com. That's Angie. Let them do all the heavy lifting. Hey, I don't know if you guys know, but it's See Better, Drive Safer month now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They have put a spotlight on items to help you see the road more clearly. All month long, receive gift cards after rebate on select wiper blades and bulbs. If your wiper blades are streaking and smearing, well, they're worn out and they need to be replaced. But good news, you can get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with purchase of select wiper blades. Their professional parts people will install your new wiper blades and they'll do it for free. See the road better with new bulbs? Get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with the purchase of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra or Select ZXE Twin Pack bulbs. They'll even help you pick out the right bulb for your vehicle. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store for details. O Rewards members receive 2 times O Rewards points on select bulbs and up to 4 times points on cleaning supplies for your vehicle. Don't miss the See Better, Drive Safer month now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
The Adam Carolla Show presents Dan Aykroyd's birthday cocktail party for July 1st. Let's see who's invited. Let's welcome the American entrepreneur who founded Estee Lauder Cosmetics. Estee Lauder. Hey, the guy who sang Rockin' Robin is here. Bobby Day. Actor and award-winning director Sidney Pollack is here. Blues vocalist and harp player James Cotton just joined the party. From Blondie, Debbie Harry is here. From the B-52s, let's welcome Fred Schneider. Country singer Keith Whitley is here. Sprinter and Olympic gold medalist Carl Lewis just ran in. Pamela Anderson is here. Missy Elliott just showed up. Steven Tyler's daughter from The Lord of the Rings, Liv Tyler. And let's please welcome Princess Diana. Dan Aykroyd is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Dan's got Crystal Head vodka. It is pure. It is wonderful. And I consume my fair share on a Monday night. CrystalHeadVodka.com is where you go. I like that song, Rockin' Robin.
Oh, yeah, that's a great 50s song, for sure.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think I'm the most famous on there.
What's that?
I don't think I'm the most famous on there.
I think you are.
Pamela Anderson and Sidney Pollack. Maybe
Well,
did
Pam
more.
Anderson is recognized from a name standpoint, but not so much from an accomplishment standpoint.
Well, she's done a lot with, with what she was, how God equipped her.
Yeah,
and she's a mom, and
She's a mom. My mom is a mom. Who cares?
She's a mom, and she looked good, and whatever she did, and big hit TV series.
You're not helping her.
Book.
You're not helping her.
You know,
You're more famous. You're more respected.
Well, I don't know. I think she probably has more followers on internet-wise. That's fame today.
So are the Kardashians.
That's fame. That's real fame today.
It is, but it's...
Well, we don't want fame. We want to do what we want for a
It's
living.
hollow fame.
We just want to do what we like for a living.
That's the
fame
blessing.
I don't care about.
That's the blessing.
It is, and you're doing it.
I'm talking to
Yeah.
you. I was in, 14, sitting in North Hollywood watching Saturday Night Live going, man, that guy, I recognize your talent as a young person. I was just like, he's a little sharper. The other people they're talented and they're doing these big, broad characters, but your stuff was concise as we started our conversation. And I just remember thinking, this guy's different.
Well, I thank you. That's great. I had a positive impact and maybe influenced you to do what you're doing today.
No, not at all. That was Kimmel. But, Rockin' Robin is one of the only rock songs with a piccolo solo.
Oh, really?
I think it's a piccolo. All right, Dawson.
You know
can
Meredith
look it up.
Wilson, the great composer of Music Man. It took him 7 years to write that amazing, wonderful musical, Music Man, right? Meredith Wilson. Mm-hmm. And there was an old fable that he used to tell people, and that was, the king was so pleased with the music of his horn and cornet players. He said, bring me your horns and your instruments, your brass instruments, and I will fill them with gold. And Meredith Wilson said, the musician in the story turned and looked away and said, and there I stood with my piccolo. You can't put gold in a piccolo.
you might be able to roll up $1 and stuff it like you're in a hooker's G-string or something.
I think, yeah.
But there's no room for
gold,
change in a piccolo.
No.
Well, I don't know. If you can look it up, Dawson, maybe we can figure
What
it
I'm
out.
finding here is that the first search says piccolo in quotes, which prompted me to say, okay, why is that in quotes? Mm-hmm. It is looking like it is a flute solo performed by famous saxophone player Plas Johnson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Plas Johnson, that is a saxophonist name right there.
Yeah.
So for you, maybe we're kindred spirits in the sense that I just want to do what I want to do. There's more money to be made doing one thing and kind of being known for that one thing. And, but the blessing for what the business we're in is you get to write a book, you get to go on tour, you get to do a podcast, you just get to do what you want to do. Is that how you feel?
I don't want to really know what I'm doing any given Monday morning, generally. I like to wake up with the week ahead of me and know that I don't have some kind of a set schedule other than when I'm, working on certain projects. So, no, I like the mystery of the way life unfolds, and what it holds. And right now, I just want to play with Jimmy and do the concerts for as long as I'm mobile, and I got 80% of the moves left, and work on the product that I'm proud of that I originated with my three partners, and have fun at this age and this time in life and where the rest of the world is. You gotta have fun at what you're doing.
Any plans for any big features in the future? Stuff
Not
you've been
really.
noodling on?
Not really. No. I'm always writing something, and my youngest daughter Stelly and I are working on a few concepts for television, and but no.
Stella's funny.
Oh yeah, I'll have to send you Dog Manor. Yeah.
Well, I was totally unsolicited, but I was driving to your event at the Magic Castle with someone who said, I took an improv class with Dan's daughter. And I said, yeah, how was she? Because I'm always prepared for the apple to fall a little bit further from the tree than. And she said, "Oh, she was the best in the class."
No, she's funny. And
then we talked to her at the event for quite some time.
Yeah, she's neat. I'll send you Dog Manor to look at where she does this English dog lady, and we're working on a concept for a show, and she did a little demonstrator video. I'll have my secretary send it so just you can see it. Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And she loves horses.
And
wants to get a mini donkey or something. Like
she's got
Schwarzenegger?
a couple of donkeys, and 2 dogs, and she's just a great person, and my writing partner, and then my eldest records under the name Vera Sola, Verasola, Vera Sola, and she's kind of a folk noir singer, guitarist, a composer, songwriter, and she's got a new single out now called Desire Path, and apparently part of it's about me, and I don't know, I'm still trying to decipher what part of it's about me, but she has a great new video out, and she's such a crunchy guitar player and vocalist. I'm very proud of her. Yeah, and then the middle one is an Irish rep off-Broadway alumnus. She did a Eugene O'Neill play there after ACT studies in San Francisco and Reed College, and so I'm very proud of the girls. Yeah, they're great. They're great.
And so for you, spirituality, UFOs, the great beyond, that whole world, people talk about it. I'm not really in any lane. I don't have strong thoughts one way or the other about it, but I think you do.
Well, spirituality and UFOs, I don't know whether they're linked, other than perhaps that we're all God's creatures, even these beings that have these hyper-advanced craft. They seem to be organic and humanoid and intelligent. I guess there's a link there that they maybe, if they're beings, they have spirit. As far as spirituality, I am a spiritualist, like just people could say, oh, I'm a Catholic, a Protestant, a Scientologist, I'm Jewish, I'm Muslim. I say I'm a spiritualist. And it comes from my family's longtime interest in the belief that not only does the soul survive in energy after death, but the consciousness can also survive. And so that brings us to the concept of mediums and mediumship and channeling and seances. And there's a community in upstate New York called Lilydale near Chautauqua, and they're registered licensed mediums there that you can go to in the summer and go to their houses and get readings and try to contact those who've gone beyond. And the results are quite stunning and quite credible.
Have you been able to contact anyone who's passed?
I have not had myself any vivid experiences in seances, but I've heard some just great stories, about how the medium can knows nothing about the person, doesn't know the name of, the name of a pet, the name of someone who's gone before, an address. They pick out things that only the deceased person would know. In multiplicity of these events and seances. So enough of that anecdotal evidence piles up, and you got to go, yeah, there's something there. Yeah.
So what's your overall view of, like, we're talking about John Candy, we're talking about John Belushi, such amazing spirits, such crazy energy while on this planet, been gone for a long time.
I have.
What is your sort of general take on where that energy went?
I believe that both of those guys were immediately assigned to other entities, to like the unborn.
Reincarnation.
They went off. That they were too vivid, and they were too contributive, and too positive, and too giving, and too talented. That energy there not to survive in its own way. So I think they went on to other assignments. I like to believe that.
I'd love to believe it too, but I always think about this stuff. And I think this way about religion sometimes too, which is how much of it do we think is factual is not the right word, but how much of it is just our yearning for this? You know what I mean? And this concept of leaving and sort of nothingness and loved ones and friends leaving and us not really being able to connect or cope with that.
I would approach it from, we're not so much, not that it comes out of yearning, but that when good evidence is presented, it is comforting to us. it's comforting that there might be something that goes on beyond. I got a great story, about mediumship. John Edwards was a psychic. He was on CBS for many years. He's a very talented medium. So Franny Drescher and Donna go to John Edwards' show in New York, I think it was.
Donna Dixon.
Yes.
And
so
your wife.
Yes. And we are wife and husband, no longer cohabitating. She doesn't have to put up with the hysterics anymore, but she's great, and she goes with Franny to...
She's a beautiful actress who was in...
Bosom Buddies and Spies
Buddies.
Like Us. And,
Spies Like Us.
And I have 3 daughters.
And
with her.
TV shows.
Oh,
back in
yeah.
the day.
So she and Franny go to John Edwards' show because Franny wants to reach her grandmother, you see.
Fran Drescher.
Yes. So they go to the show. And Franny's in the audience with John Edwards, and Donna's in the green room watching on television. Well, John Edwards is kind of searching, for references. Franny, he says, I'm getting a uniform. No. I'm getting stripes on a sleeve. No. That's not my grandmother. No. I'm getting a pair of wire eyeglasses. No. Franny's getting frustrated. I'm getting the name. This is John Edwards now. I'm getting, talking to Franny and feeling something. I'm getting the name Morris. And Morris wants to get a message to Steve. And Donna's in the room going, holy Morris, that's Dan's uncle, Morris, who was in the Navy. And his son is Steve. And Morris passed. And so what happened there, Adam, was my uncle elbowed his way through into Franny's trance channeling session with John Edwards, and he to get through. And this is what happens commonly in seances. You'll be going looking for one entity to come through, and another one will say, I want that channel, move out of the way. And that's what my uncle did, to say he wanted to get a message to Steve that everything was all right. Franny was upset that his grandmother wasn't reached, but Donna came back to me and said, we got to tell Steve that his dad's okay.
Wow.
So things like that, yeah. They elbow their way through.
And UFOs, been a lot of stuff out lately. I mean, we've been arguing about this since the 60s and the 70s or before, but now, for the first time, it seems like there's some concrete evidence.
Well, there's an office in New York now. It's called the, Washington, D.C., I'm sorry. It's called the All Domain Anomalous Resolution Office. This is the new formal Pentagon investigative branch or office or bureau for UFO reports. So all domain, that means water. Sea, they go in sea. They're going to the sea at 1,000 miles an hour, with the medium meaning nothing to them.
Right.
So all domain, sea, sky, air, whatever, Earth, and then anomalous. You can't explain it. It's an anomaly. Then resolution. We have to explain it. We can't have machines like this flying around with our Air Force and our Navy, so we have to resolve it, and the office that does it. So civilian reports are going to be accepted. Military reports are going to be there. Whether you believe or not that these hyper-advanced craft exist with intelligent operators, you may believe it or not, it is a reality.
Have you had any encounters yourself?
I have seen 4 of them.
4?
Yep.
In Canada, United States?
Martha's Vineyard, 2 in Canada. Well, I would say 4. Well, 4 because 2 were at one sighting. So 3 events. Martha's Vineyard, in Montreal, Canada, in downtown Montreal, right there.
How'd you know what it was?
Well, this thing in Montreal, I was with a friend, and we were sitting there on the 23rd floor of the Queen Elizabeth Hotel doing some promotion for Patron Tequila at the time that I had in Canada, and we were there in Montreal in the Queen Elizabeth Hotel, 23rd floor, gray February day, and we were sitting watching the spiders on the 23rd floor in the window. They were going up and down like yo-yos, Oh, geez, that's an interesting phenomenon. We're sitting there, and then my friend goes, "What's that? What's that?" I said, "What?" And I look out, and coming down St. Catherine Street is what I can only say hit my mind first as a Macy's Day balloon. It was a Thanksgiving balloon. I'm thinking, oh, they've got some kind of a parade coming. But I'm thinking it's February. There's no parade. It's winter. It's gray. There's nobody out on the streets watching a parade. And I watch this thing come closer. It's about 50 feet wide. It's 150 feet long. It's maybe 20 feet high. And underneath looked like a bunch of grapes, like round bulbous growths underneath or mechanism underneath. And it came and parked 50 feet off the window. We were able to look at it for a full minute. And it just sat there silently, big gray object, really, no lights on it and everything. And then it turned, and then we ran out in the hall and we watched it just drift out over the St. Lawrence River, just slow.
And there must have been others that saw this.
I don't know. I never reported it, but we were, when you see something is not a helicopter, a meteoric bolide, a jet, a plane, a balloon. We know this was a craft, machined and controlled by, I don't know, robot, AI, what, but it just sat there silently. And I have a couple of books on UFOs, and I looked up and I saw one that kind of looked like it with the bunch of grapes thing underneath that had been reported in other sightings. And just to have another person there, and her reaction, what's that? I'll never forget, what's that?
So what's your head on it? Is it that they're coming here to observe, or they don't know who we are and they've sort of lost their way?
No, they know. Know. Many different. I would say, as Lord Hill Norton there, the aerospace attaché from the British government there, or he was, I think, a deputy minister in the British government. He said there are 23 different species visiting that he counted. Mm-hmm. They're here for many reasons. They know who we are, for sure. Many of them do. Many of them know who we are. Many of them care who we are. Many of them are benevolent. Many don't care who we are, couldn't care less, and they're just tripping through. Many are tourists. Like if you look, the Stingray UFO, you look up that Stingray UFO, you're going to see a picture of a craft. It looks like a Corvette with no wheels, but with a stinger out the back. That is commonly seen. Then you have the Mexican humanoid UFOs, where you have guys that look like they're in a rocket pack, but they're up there at airline height. And, a rocket pack don't go above 150, 200 feet.
Right.
And so if you look on the website, just those two alone, Mexican humanoid, flying humanoids, Mexico City, and you look at the other events that you see all around, the Stingray. There's a guy here taking pictures of them in Marina del Rey. The helicopters are police, sheriff, and fire are all complaining sometimes about how they buzz the helicopters out here at Marina del Rey. So many different types, many different types, many different species, many different interests in humankind, ranging from tourism to straight up abduction and medical extraction of fluids, like that happened to Barney and Betty Hill. You know that story.
I've heard that story.
That's a great one. But that's pretty vivid.
I was kind of dubious, all throughout my life, because all I had was Leonard Nimoy telling me about it and super grainy pictures and a lot of stuff.
Now we have radar
happened in Nevada,
camera.
but now
now
it's documented.
Yeah, we have radar and.
But here's
all kinds of other stuff that's going to come out. The Aero office that I just mentioned is going to start releasing other stuff too.
But here's an interesting, on a psychological note. And I've been saying, so if you're of a certain age, you realize we've been discussing this my entire life. And debating it and arguing over it, and many a TV show and a movie and so has been dedicated to this subject. And now it seems as if we finally have some definitive information. It's coming from the government. It's coming from Navy pilots and cameras inside their cockpits and things like that. And nobody seems to care, which is very interesting. And I think it's because we've become in such crazed narcissists and we're all staring down at our phones that we don't look up into the heavens anymore.
Well, that's a lot to do with it. But I think it's more that we have really vivid concerns on this planet other than who's visiting and who cares about us or not that have these craft. We have, worldwide famine, we have wars, we have we have violence, we have gun crimes, we have so much in the world.
But that existed in the 70s.
Not in the extreme that we have today, I don't think.
Well, I mean, we talked about it in different terms. We talked about ecology and the ice age. Now we're talking about global warming. And yeah, but I mean, I'm saying we always had problems. We always had the inner city, and we always had skirmishes. And as I always comically say, I said when I would watch SNL in the 70s and they started with the news segment, they'd start oftentimes with trouble in the Middle East. And I said, that's 50 years ago, and it's a comedy show, and they started with trouble in the Middle East. So, I mean, we've always had this, but we carved out room to obsess over UFOs, even amongst the strife we have on planet Earth. We just don't seem as interested anymore. I think it's a psychological thing.
Well, I think that exposure in the news media will take care of that once they start distributing some of the footage that they have. More people would get interested. But again, they're not going to come down and solve these problems. They should. They shouldn't be holding back. In fact, you have
UFOs. Or the
say you have an intelligent being that has one of these craft that can do what they report. They should be hovering above countries in Africa, purifying their water, providing basic materials for shelter. They should be, if they're here visiting us, they should help mankind. They're not going to do. They should take a magnet and get all of the guns in the world and just suck them up into one of the vessels. They're not going to do that. Yeah. So we humans have to are down here trying to solve those problems. But if I could directly address them, I'd say, get the magnet, get the water purifier. You got the technology. Don't be so selfish. You've been coming to this planet as tourists and enjoying the sights. Now help us out.
Yeah. Alien privilege.
Yeah.
I think they call it.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, let's end on a funny note. Crystal Head Vodka is the name of the product. It is pure. It is delicious. It's a conversation piece.
Thank you.
You should treat yourself to this work of art.
Yeah,
outside and inside the bottle.
Thanksgiving
I would say.
Thanksgiving and Christmas, great gifts.
Show up with that.
That's right.
Instead of your dry ass stuffing this year, and really make an impact.
That's it.
Dan, this has been a treat for me.
Oh, thank you, Adam. Thank you. Say hello to Jimmy.
I shall.
Yeah.
And let's do it again whenever you're around.
For sure. Absolutely. This was fun. And you like cars, too. That's another thing you like is cars. And
yeah, I want to check out your Pierce Arrow, did you say?
Pierce Arrow, yeah.
What year?
32, 1604 limousine. J. Edgar Hoover had an identical car.
Wow.
To the one I have, yeah.
God, people don't realize how many American car companies there were in this country. Duesenberg. Yeah, lots of American. Cord.
Auburn.
Cord was the first front-wheel drive car, one of the first, as I recall.
Yeah, of course, Studebaker, Hupmobile.
They just kept going and going.
Yeah, Hudson.
All right, well, we'll talk cars next time you're here, because I got all Paul Newman's race cars.
Yeah, right.
So we can.
Wow, great.
We can delve into that. Go to AdamCarolla.com. I got shows all over the country. Go check out crystalheadvodka.com. And until next time, this is Adam Carolla. For Dan Aykroyd, saying Mahala. Thanks for tuning into the Adam Carolla Show. You can watch the full show on YouTube. Just search Adam Carolla Show and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can also get the podcast wherever you like to listen. And for extra content, ad-free episodes, and more, you can head over to our Substack and sign up today. Get it on. Adam Yenzer back in studio. Very funny stand-up comedian. He's got a couple dry bar specials, right?
Just one.
Oh, just one?
Yep.
Well, maybe I watched it twice.
Yeah, thanks.
Very funny. Great joke writer. Used to work. I don't know. Do you own an Emmy for writing for Ellen?
I have 11 of them.
11 Emmys.
So whenever we'd win for writing, I'd get one. And then they also just kind of credited everyone as a producer on that show. So whenever the talk show won, we'd get another one. So,
11 Emmys.
But they're daytime Emmys. It's like our competition was like the ladies of The View. So
whoa. Local Emmy, I think the pecking order is
Yes.
local Emmy, daytime Emmy, Emmy.
Exactly, yeah.
All right. Well,
I should see if I can trade in the 11 for one primetime Emmy, if you can kind of upgrade them eventually.
I'm trying to think because there's a pecking order for everything.
Yeah,
like in the automotive world, winning at Le Mans is a big deal. But then the 24 hours of Daytona is pretty good, but it's not as good as Le Mans. And then there's the 12 hours of Sebring, which is good, but it's not as good. It really is the local Emmy, the daytime Emmy, and the Emmy, which is Le Mans. And then the question is, how many Daytona wins would be worth a Le Mans win?
Exactly.
And the sad kind of answer is no amount of Timexes is worth a Rolex.
Yes, yeah.
And no amount of Ford Explorers is worth a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Like there's a weird thing that never works. You go, well, what if you had 100 Ford Explorers?
Yeah. Still not good enough.
You still want the Lamborghini.
Yeah.
So anyway, you got the Ford Explorer, and God bless you.
Exactly. Yep. I'll make do with it.
So, and Ellen's moved back.
Oh yeah. So I said when she said she was moving there because Trump won.
Right.
Everybody was like, "Oh, did you hear she?" I go, "She'll be back." Like,
yes.
There's no way she. And I heard. I don't think Rosie O'Donnell moved back, but she came back to visit for an extended period.
Yes.
They're going to come back eventually. I don't think any of them are going to make it in England forever.
Well, as I tell people all the time, my grandfather, who was not my biological grandfather, but his name was Laszlo Gorog, who's Hungarian.
That's a great name.
It's a good name, and Gorog is spelled the same forward and backwards. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
So he left Hungary, I would guess in probably like 1940, maybe 1939. So they were rounding up Jews, and he was Jewish. And he got which way the wind was blowing in Hungary. And his sister ended up getting rounded up, and his nephew, and many, many members of his community and family end up getting hauled off to concentration camps by Hitler. But Laszlo had a feeling early. And it wasn't the bullshit virtue signal feeling like I'll go to Ireland and enjoy myself in an Airbnb for 6 months, and then I'll come back, but I'll claim there's a target on my back or some fear. It's right up there with ISIS kicking in doors and deporting people who look different than them and all that stuff. Half of ISIS is Hispanic, and the other half are women. So it's sort of weird, this whole clan theme they keep going. It's like a weird clan fever dream that they have. A bunch of red-haired guys are kicking open doors. Yeah. It's mostly like when you look at like the LAPD or the Chicago PD or the New York PD, it's first off, it's tons of women. Mm-hmm. ICE is like 40% women. Now, I don't know that they're 40% of the people on the street. Yeah. There's lots of other roles to play. But it's 40% women. It's like 45% Hispanic. Because, by the way...
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of Hispanic agents.
Cops aren't the Irish guy walking the beat. Oh, Molly's here with his paddy wagon. It's not that. It's a bunch of Hispanic chicks.
Yes.
Now, in LA, so this whole racist cop theme is kind of fucked for them. But they keep going with the theme, which is funny. But my grandfather, Laszlo, he was like, I'm leaving... because I think they're going to start rounding us up and putting us in gas chambers. And he left, and he didn't announce he was going to leave for 4 years and never leave. Yeah. He left, and he didn't leave and come back. He certainly didn't leave and come back. He just left because he was scared. And so were a lot of people. So that's what actual fear looks like. Yeah. Bullshit virtue signaling fear. This is a different kind of fear because it's not actual fear.
He didn't come back 4 months later and buy a bigger mansion than his last mansion.
He got a place across from Oprah's place in Mendocino County.
I also saw, I think it was the day Ellen was seen back shopping for a new mansion or a new house. It was the same day that she and others had called for some sort of buying boycott to protest ICE. So it was like,
we're not going to buy anything, but Santa Barbara mansions. You know, the saddest part about L.A. is when they're like, Kamala Harris spent $8 million for a mansion in Malibu. I'm like, that's 3,000 square foot, and it may be a teardown. Yeah. Like in Malibu. All right. So speaking of that, I've been going to a construction site that is the only construction site that is going on Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. There's every lot is burnt out just about in front of me, and many lots on the water side and on the hill and stuff, but there's only one that's undergoing construction actively. And so I walk past it when I go on my walks, but I also make a trip over there because I'm endlessly fascinated in over-engineering, and you guys have heard it enough, so I won't get into all of it. But it is crazy the amount of concrete. So I went there on Saturday, and they were spraying shotcrete on the retaining wall that goes against PCH. That is basically concrete that is forced out of a rig and sprayed, and it essentially sticks, and then they trowel it off. I'll tell you, I like this this contractor because I've had a chance periodically to stop and talk to different people. I was lucky enough to talk to the contractor the other day. I was lucky enough to have the architect come over and interview, because I'm doing a lot of guesswork. How big is this house? How much for the foundation? How many yards of concrete and all that? But I've been able to talk to these guys. So I have pretty good retention. I have very good retention if I'm talking about a subject I know about, and I know about this subject. So if you told me your Jeep Cherokee had a 4.4 liter engine that was fuel injected with a single overhead cam, if you ran into me 10 years later and asked me about your Jeep engine, I would say 4.4 with the overhead cam and whatever. Yeah, I would. But it's only because I speak the language. If I don't speak the language, I don't know what you're talking about. If you're talking about computers and what to do, how to log on to your whatever account.
That's my weakness too.
Get onto your iTunes account, whatever the password is. I'm semi-retarded.
Yeah.
Like, people look at me and they go, by the way, there's a certain amount of disgust. You don't know your iTunes password?
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. Okay. So I'm learning as they're downloading this information to me, but couple things if I can recall. Here's the guy you want as a contractor. These guys dig down about, and I won't use hyperbole. I hate when people they go down 100 feet or whatever it is. They go down like 12, 14 foot. They put this cage up against these piles, these cement piles they've sunk into the ground, and then they blow on this gunite and or shotcrete. It's kind of the same thing. And then he goes, and then the guys come behind them and they trowel it all off. So it looks nice. And I said, yeah, but wait a second. Aren't you just going to backfill all that stuff, like basically up to the street level? Like, if you look at it again, they trench down and go down with the retaining wall. But then when they're done, they backfill it all with sand, and it goes all the way up basically to the top. So I go, you're never going to see the nicely troweled wall. And he goes, yeah, I know. We just like to do it that way. And I was like, that's a dude. I fucking like that dude. You are going to trowel it and then bury it.
Cover it up.
Because you like to do good work.
You want to know that you did it the right way. Like, it's a point of pride, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a point of pride that cost you some extra hours and extra men and effort and all that. But God damn it, there was somebody troweling it behind the guy who was spraying it. And if you play it again, Chuck, you'll see him spraying it on. It just gets sprayed on like cottage cheese coming out of a 4-inch hose. But if you stop it there, the part behind the part where he's spraying it is being nicely finished, like it's a basketball court. And then they will then fill the whole thing up to the very top bond beam with sand, and you'll never see it again. But he's finishing it off. And I like that.
Nice.
I'm fine. You know why? I'll tell you why I like it. People go, why bother? I go, because let me give everyone a tip. Don't have two modes. People have two modes. They're like, here's the way I treat the microwave at home, and here's the one I treat the one at work. And those are totally different ways. I'll blow up a burrito at work and walk away. At home, I'm wiping it down. Okay, now you got two modes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it becomes, in a weird way, like they go, cheating and kind of getting your story straight. You know what I mean? Like when you lie, you have to remember your lies. If you don't lie, you never have to. If you have one mode,
yes,
trowel it down, bitch. Trowel that bitch. Clean that microwave. If you wouldn't leave the lights on your apartment when you leave, then don't leave the lights on in your office at work when you leave.
Now,
just have one mode and you'll be good.
Now, asking for a friend, what if the mode is to leave the microwave dirty at work and at home?
Okay.
I feel like I'm good with most things. I don't know that I've wiped down the microwave in a while.
I respect and have sympathy and empathy and everything that ends with "thee" toward the person that treats their car and the rental car the same way.
Yeah.
I don't like when you treat your car very pristinely and the rental car.
I am
like
good
a
with
piece of
rental
shit.
cars, yeah.
And I've seen it a million times where people they're guys who borrow your tools and leave them all over the place, and then they're super organized with their shit. You know what I mean? And it bothers me.
Oh, and with the rental car, especially like as a comic, I'm on the road a lot. So I treat those the same way I treat my own car because I don't want to run into any problems myself when I'm out there with it. It's just like, yeah.
One time someone who used to work here got really pissed at me because they were cooking or making something in the back, and they literally unscrewed the top to a salt container, and they were using it, and when they're done, they just set it down and left. And like, it's a warehouse. You can't leave that stuff open overnight. And he's like, I forgot to put it. And I said, you forgot or you're done with it?
Yeah.
And he goes, and it wasn't yours. And he goes, I forgot. I go, would you ever forget at home? If you're at home and you unscrew the top, the salt, you use it, and then you just leave it with the cap next to it, and you just forgot about it, you just went to bed that night, no fucking way. Now, maybe you don't know yourself, but I know enough to know you have two different modes. You got his stuff mode and my stuff mode, and it bothers. I don't like when people do it with rental cars. I don't like when they do it with kids. I don't like when they do it with pets. I don't like when they do it with microwaves, and I don't like they do it with gunite being troweled. I just have one mode. And by the way, that's all I need to know about this guy.
Yeah.
He trowels off his gunite that then gets backfilled and buried. Only maybe futuristic conquistadors would find it exploring for sunken treasure or something. Like who? No one will
look good
ever
in a
see
museum.
it again.
Someday, millions of years from now, they'll dig it up. And
I'll tell you the thing about these guys, or guys who do good work. He would have to look at it for 2 weeks before they backfilled that thing.
Yeah.
He didn't want to see it. He wants to see it finished.
Now, to play, not devil's advocate, but is there any financial incentive to this will make the work take longer? This will get us
no
extra time?
Theoretically, no, because it's probably bid. It's not a time and materials.
Yeah.
There's time and materials where you go, I don't know how long it's going to take me to assemble that.
Yeah.
IKEA furniture, and how long, if it's going to take adhesives or whatever, or duct tape or something. So I'll charge you time and materials. But a big job like this, probably $2.5 million for the foundation only. It's probably bid out. Yeah. And there's overages and a little moving each way, but they bid this, so they're just kind of doing it as part of the bid. And maybe it was worked into. I mean, I'm sure maybe it was worked into the bid, but I'm saying they don't have to do it. So the thing that's crazy is I walk around. I now have become that weird neighbor that sitcoms made fun of historically, where like I walk around and stand and watch them, and I'll talk to the foreman and I'll go, what's the schedule? And it's like, Saturday, we're shooting gunite on the seawall. I'll go, what time? 8, between 8 and 10. I go, okay, I'll see you.
You bring a lawn chair and the binoculars.
I take my iPhone and I go and I plant myself and I film it. And it's so sad. It's so sad. I showed up at 9. I want to see some gunite flying or shotcrete. It's the same thing. And all I see is a bunch of Mexicans sitting around. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, the truck's not here. And I'm like, what's going on with the truck? It's coming at 10. I'm like, I thought it was coming at 8. We thought it was coming at 8 too, but it's coming at 10, the cement truck. I go, okay. Well, I'll go get some coffee and come back. Like, I literally went and got coffee and came back.
Don't let anyone take my spot.
Yeah, this is my cooler.
Yeah.
Those are my Zimas.
And when they're doing that shotcrete, how long does that take to do? Are they doing that all day or?
No, it's about they were on their second truck. I think it's going to take about 4 trucks worth, which is about 40 cubic yards, which is a lot. Like, I don't think people. I will paint you this picture for the layperson. When people go, "Oh, how many yards are into that thing?" This guy, the architect, the foreman told me 3,000 yards, which is insane. Which is nuts. People have no idea. People have no idea what a yard of concrete is. And I looked it up, and I've gone through this. If you were to mix up a yard of concrete, it's a cubic yard. If you went to the Home Depot has 2 size sacks of ready mix concrete. They have a smaller one that's like 60 pounds. And then they have a bigger one that's 92 pounds. I believe it's 92. Chuck could check for me. I think it's 60 and 92. I don't know why it's 60 and 92. Maybe it's a metric thing. I don't know. But the big sack is 92, as I recall. And that's the size of like a big pillow. A big pillow, and it weighs 92 pounds.
Yeah.
If you wanted to mix up 1 yard of concrete, you would have to buy 7 of those.
Oh my gosh! Really? Wow.
7. Let's see. Are they 80? What standard? Oh, okay. Common bags weigh 40, 50, 60, 80, and 90. So back when I did it, it was like 60 and 90 is what the place kept. I don't know where I'm getting the 2 from, but maybe that was back in the day. But either way, you would have to get 7 of those bags, 7 of the big bags, put them in a wheelbarrow, get the hose out, and mix.
And that's
7.
for 1 yard.
1 cubic
and this
yard.
was 3,000 yards, you said.
Yes, and those they shot in that one day. They shot 40 yards at least. So 7 bags is 1 yard. They shot 40, and that was just on the back seawall.
Yeah.
There's yards and yards and yards and yards to go. So I went and talked to the architect. And then people now know me as the crazy man who walks around and stands and watches, you know. And I think the Mexicans look at me like the chupacabra, you know, the legend.
There he is.
The
We
legend
spotted
of
him.
the chupacabra, the least interesting man in the
They
world.
have blurry photos of you that they share with each other.
That's right. So I stand there and I watch, and the Mexicans have a great quality, which is they don't really bother you. Like, they're the opposite of the Karen, like the middle-aged, blue-eyed chick. You know, like I'll literally walk onto the site, walk through the gate, you know, on the other side of the fence, and just like stand there. And they're never like, "Hey, my friend, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They just work. They just work. If that was a group of Minnesotan 40-year-old women, it would be like, "Excuse you, I'm sorry, pardon me, sorry."
They'd be filming you on their
I'm
phones.
sorry. What is your business here? Are you the homeowner?
Do you live here?
Yeah, I always love.
Are you from this neighborhood?
I love when they already have the answer.
Yes.
Like they go, "Do you own this?" "Yes, bitch, I own it." They know you don't own the home, right? Like, are you involved with the? Excuse me. What is your business? There's literally 14 Mexicans all working, and I just come walking up and stand there.
Yeah.
And by the way, close to the edge where the thing could cave in and I could fall into a trench. Nobody says a word. They just all walk past you. They'll never bug you.
Yeah.
They'll never bug you. The Karens are the ones who bug you. But the architect came up and started talking to me, and because he had recognized me, and I started picking his brain. What's going on? Okay, here's the crazy thing. That house, and there's other. I put stuff up. We're doing more vlogs on it and stuff. That house with the 5-story deep caissons that go into the ground, and all the millions of feet of rebar and the thousands of yards of concrete. Bowl and Branch. Have you guys noticed that sheets usually don't fail all at once? First, the corners won't stay put. Then the fabric is scratchier, and eventually it's time to upgrade. That's when it's time to make the switch to Boll and Branch. They're made of 100% organic cotton, designed to hold their shape and stay breathable every night. They also get softer over time, and it's very noticeable. You can really tell the difference. I really don't even think about my sheets that much, I'll be honest, until I tried Boll and Branch, and then I realized what I was missing all these years. It's time to invest in what you're actually making contact with at night, every night. It's Boll and Branch, right, Dawson?
Sleep sound with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/ACS with code ACS. That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/ACS. Code ACS to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply.
Rosetta Stone, whether it's comedy or racing, I really love putting in the work and getting better at something. That's why I enjoy Rosetta Stone. I can fit small lessons into the day and see real improvement fast. They have 30 years experience and millions of users. Learn anytime, anywhere. Rosetta Stone fits your lifestyle with flexible, on-the-go learning, and you'll sound natural with true accent, which gives real-time feedback on pronunciation. The lifetime membership gives you all 25 languages forever. Learn one now, pick another next year. No extra cost. It's Rosetta Stone, right, Dawson?
Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. ACS listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/Adam to get started and claim your 50% off today. Go to rosettastone.com/Adam and start learning today.
I go, what was here before the fire? He said it was a house. He remodeled it. Same owners. He remodeled the house. I go, oh, when was the house built? Because, well, it was originally built probably the late 60s, maybe the early 70s, and then he got hold of it in the, 2015 or something, did a big-time remodel on it, and then it burnt to the ground. I said, we're just standing there in amongst all these seawalls and caissons and bond beams and grade beams and already 2,000 yards of concrete already poured. And I go, what was their original foundation from the 70s? He goes, all wood. Wow. I go, no seawall, no pilasters or no caissons? He goes, no, they're just wood. Huh. I go, like just the telephone poles that just got driven into the ground, wooden piles, like an old pier. He goes, yeah, the piles burn down basically when the house burns down. They burn down, and at the end there's just nubs hanging out. She's like 3 or 4 feet for some reason. Maybe the ocean is up high or something. So it's all these nubs. They're just telephone poles, just hanging out.
Yeah.
There's like 12 of them. I go, what, did you have to get them out? He goes, yeah, man, we had to dig around them and pull them out. And he goes, it was a bitch. Like, they didn't want to move. And I was like, so this entire thing was just built on wood.
That's
that
impressive.
Was pounded into the ground. He goes, oh, yeah. I go, was it fine? He goes, yeah, it was fine. Until the fire burnt it down. I go, well, what are you doing now? And he's like, well, that's the new code. And I go, but the old code worked fine. Yeah. Literally now we're going to pour 3,000 yards of concrete.
Man.
It is insane. All right. So I was watching you're a comedian. You'll have thoughts. I was watching the Mel Brooks documentary. Mm-hmm. And I love any doc, and a Mel Brooks doc is great. And I've never been able to fully wrap my mind around Mel Brooks in the sense that I love, let's say, Albert Brooks, and I love Defending Your Life, and I love Lost in America, and I think his stuff is funny, but it's profound as well. Like Defending Your Life's an important movie. Like you should watch it.
Yeah.
It makes you kind of think. Like, yeah, I think he's right about this. It's a very interesting approach to the afterlife.
Yeah.
In lieu of whatever your beliefs are, religion may be. So Mel Brooks has been like hit and miss and could be really schmaltzy and stupid.
Yes.
And I'm like, ugh. But then, is writing scores for musicals that are smart and interesting. And I'm like, which guy? And then, you go, well, Young Frankenstein, that was a really interesting movie. And you go, well, that's Mel Brooks. And you go, yeah, but that was Gene Wilder's idea. And he probably wrote the smarter stuff in that, but then Mel Brooks directed it, and he produced a lot of stuff like The Elephant Man and interesting stuff, and he does deserve a lot of credit. And then there's Blazing Saddles, but Richard Pryor wrote on that, and then you're kind of like, sometimes you're kind of like, there's a lot of this in this business, like a lot of guys who used to, like, let's say, back in the day, they'd go, this guy worked on Letterman, this guy worked on The Simpsons, and I'd go, oh, good, let's hire that guy. And then you'd hire him and go, that guy's not funny.
I worked on a project one time with a guy that wrote for The Simpsons and had an Emmy Award for it. And then he was not great.
Real Emmy, nighttime Emmy,
nighttime,
street lights
not
on,
one of the fake ones.
Real,
no, I tried to trade.
Legitimate.
I tried to trade him for it. I couldn't
proud,
get it.
Get your dick sucked at a party.
Exactly,
Emmy, that kind of Emmy.
Yeah.
Okay, so not your Emmy.
No, not my Emmy.
Real Emmy.
No,
legit Emmy.
I can't even get a hand job for all 11 of mine.
Not with the chocolate center, but with the actual weight and heft.
But it was the same thing where he, when he starts writing, it's like, it was part of a team. And I'm that way with Mel Brooks movies. There's ones I love. Like I love Spaceballs. I'm a big fan of Blazing Saddles. But when people make lists where they're like the best comedy movies of all time, they'll put a lot of his on there. I'm not like a devotee of all of his work like that.
Well, I'm starting to. I have a couple thoughts. There are, and also I return the favor because later on, guys got hired because they wrote for the Man Show, and Crank Yankers. And if I talked to the guy who hired him, I could have tell you, that guy worked for us, but he didn't get shit on the air, and he wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Like, I could have stopped. They were like, I work for Crank Yankers. I work for the Man Show. And they'd go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've had this guy worked for The Simpsons. He was the writer of The Simpsons. I go, oh, okay. And then you sit and try to write with him, and you go, oh, he's not funny. And then once you realize every writer's room has like 14 people, and 3 of them do all the jokes, and the other ones are just there fucking taking up space and eating.
Well, there's also a thing, I think, and this might be what helped with Mel Brooks when he was working with Richard Pryor or with Gene Wilder, especially on like TV shows. I feel like there's that lightning in a bottle thing where every now and then on like a certain season of SNL or like certain periods of Letterman or Conan where there's all these like talented people that just happen to come together in that room, and they all go on to do greater things. And at The Simpsons, there'll be eras when there's a group where all the writers know what they're doing, that they have the right director, they have the right producers, and everybody just kind of meshes. And I think that's when you get really, really great content out of it.
Agreed. And there's an element of I've always described comedy, and most art is sort of a stew. And there are times when you can take every ingredient you love the most and put it into the stew. And at some point you take the ladle and you take a little sip and you go, it's okay. And then there are times when people are like, this stew's got this and this stew's got that. And you go, I don't really like cumin that much. And they go, and then you taste it and you go, oh, that's good. Like, and you can't really explain because of the ingredients, So sometimes you go, we got the writer from The Simpsons, we got the writer from Letterman, we got the Man Show writer, we got them all in one room. And it's like, pfft, you know what I mean? So there's an element of that when you make a comedy. Like, I couldn't explain to anyone why Napoleon Dynamite was funny, or half the movies that are funny. They just sort of are, or they're not. Like, and sometimes you can watch comedies and just go, everything's here. Will Ferrell's in this. You got a whole bunch of funny people. Judd Apatow wrote it, whatever, and And by the way, this is funny. I'm just not laughing.
Yes.
Like, I'm just not.
Or they're thinking like it should work, but something about it,
That's
it
the stew.
doesn't
That's
quite.
the stew. It's got all the stuff I like in one pot, and I'm not really enjoying it.
And
that
the other
much.
thing I found also on certain projects, like I worked as a producer's assistant at Conan for many years, and I think what on certain movies and TV shows, it's not just the writers, but what really works is when like everyone in the production has some sense of comedy. Like the props guy is good at props, but he gets comedy. And the graphics guy is good at graphics, but he gets comedy. And the bookers book the right people, but they know comedy. And I think when that all comes together in a project, that really helps everything.
Yes, agreed. It's good. Back to this thing. It's good when the person who's doing interior design also sort of knows how to build.
Yeah.
It just makes them better at their job, and I've felt that way like a lot with people and their expertise knowing comedy. Yeah, because when you're talking to the props person who doesn't have a sense of humor, you're constantly trying to explain to them what to do, and they don't really get it.
Yeah,
which I've definitely dealt with, but. So I'm like appreciating this Mel Brooks doc and Mel and his illustrious career and all that, but I'm also sort of like he can get really schmaltzy, and also you should know Spaceballs. I'm going to make a list of movies where, Defending Your Life is a great movie, and Annie Hall is a great movie. And if you saw it when you were 14, you'd like it. If you saw it when you're 48, you'd probably appreciate it even more. But it's just good straight on through. And there's many other movies that are like that. There are other movies that catch people in a vulnerable age, that 14-year-old age, where you 13, where you think it's the funniest thing ever. But then if someone's older than you, like I dated a younger woman once, and she was explaining to me that Dirty Rotten Scoundrels was the funniest movie ever made. Yeah. And I was like, it is? Oh, yeah, that's a good one. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait a minute, how old are you? Oh, you were 13? Yeah, I saw it when I was 13. Yeah. I loved it. I go, okay, have you seen it since? No. I go, if you sat down and watch it now, you'd not.
Yeah.
I have to do that a lot with people. Spaceballs is one of those things where I was old enough when it came out that I was like, nah.
Oh, really?
But
I have to watch it again. It's been years.
It's not bad, but I think when you're Fletch, Spaceballs, and there's probably like Goonies. There's probably like a handful of movies where if you were 15, you were really into it.
Yeah.
But if you're 30,
Goonies is a great example.
You're like,
I missed the boat on Goonies when I was younger, and people rave about it. I went back and watched it. I was like, it was all right. It wasn't. It wasn't like
you're like 3 years too old for Goonies.
It didn't have like the
You've aged out of the Goon.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'll give Spaceballs a try, but I think you got. I don't know what the math is for you in Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, I probably saw. I don't remember when it came out, but I was born '83, and so I probably saw Spaceballs for the first time when I was, I don't know, like early teens.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect years.
Yeah.
You do it with crushes.
Yep.
That you have with the lady on TV. The most beautiful in the world. The songs.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm watching. And so he's showing History of the World Part 1 or whatever. And I literally just go, I'm just going to watch the first 10 minutes of History of the World Part 1. And I'm going to go, what's going on with it? Like, is it funny? Like right out of the gate. So right out of the gate, it does a 2001 Dawn of Man send up. But I watched it twice. I was like, hold on, are they masturbating or what's going on? We'll show it. I'll show it to you, and you can tell
20 million
me.
years ago, an ape-like creature inhabited the earth.
They got Orson Welles, by the way, to voice it. Now,
it has been a long time since I've watched this.
And Chuck, you can watch. Are these ape-like creatures beating off, or what exactly are they doing? It just shows these ape-like creatures from a distance, and they start.
And the ape stood
erect,
became man.
This is the top of the movie. This is the first thing the audiences see. They raise their hands. And they're like pounding their chest.
Yeah, the one in the background there is.
And it says, "Our forefathers." Are they dancing? Or are they masturbating?
It looks like they're like self-flagellating. Like they're just hitting themselves.
They're pounding their groin.
Yeah, it looks like they're punching themselves in the nuts.
And then they fall over.
It does look like they're punching themselves in the nuts.
All right, so if I'm in the room,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Are they masturbating?
You don't know what to make of it, yeah.
What, Chuck? Are they masturbating?
Definitely.
Okay, so the joke
Is that how you masturbate? Because it's
Yes.
it's a very aggressive.
Oh yeah, they're standing up. You see the guy.
Well, let me explain something. First things first, they'll go, look, if you're just going to have them stand there whacking off, this is a hard R.
Mm-hmm.
Where you want a hard R, Mal, or you want a PG-13? I go, well, what if we soften it a little and just had them using like two hands? Like, this is a definite standards.
Yes,
We're not going
back
lights
and
up
forth.
in this movie. You can have a hard R, but you're not going to.
Yeah.
So, okay, but here's what I'm saying. I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, this is lights up. It's not funny. It's kind of, by the way, if they're just masturbating, it's still really not funny, and then they fall over or interesting or.
It's weird that they masturbated so hard that they knocked themselves out and just collapsed at the end of it.
Right. So I don't know what this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was telling Joey, and maybe he didn't get it. This is the very top, but then there's the whole caveman thing with Sid Caesar that it goes into. So sorry, I wanted it past this, and you can find it, Chuck. But the whole point is like, I'm watching these vignettes like through the eyes of a guy who writes comedy, and I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, this is bad. This is dumb. Like, I don't even know. First off, I'm a little confused. Like, I don't exactly know what that is, but I don't know what the joke is.
Yeah.
What is early man beat off?
No, yeah, I don't completely understand. I'm sure people in the comments will be like, "Oh no, this is the joke," but I don't completely get what it is.
And also, it wasn't executed because you couldn't really do it. Like, the guy couldn't spit in his palm and start really hitting it hard because they'd go, you're just going to get a R, 17 or something. Like, you're not going to get the rating you want. All right, so then it goes into like early man, caveman, with Sid Caesar's The Caveman, and they're all just shitty, vaudevillian, schmaltzy, really bad jokes, like sophomoric, who the fuck wrote this kind of stuff. So I'm sorry, I'll play a second of that if we have it. You can go back a second. So he hits the one caveman in the foot, and he starts screaming. And then so they go, oh, this is a way to sing or make sound. So then he puts a chorus together of cave people.
Just by injuring them?
By smashing their foot with a giant rock. And then
from that moment forward,
he gets a chorus together. Now you got to find the movie, sorry. And then the chorus all sings by somebody smashing their foot. And if I'm in the writer's room, I'm just going, this is the first vignette?
Yeah.
Like,
that one makes more sense to me, though, than the opening. I feel like there's at least a full concept of
it's
like,
super schmaltzy, slapsticky, vaudevillian shit. It's a shit concept, but it's so they figure out if you smash someone in the foot, they'll scream.
Yeah.
And by screaming, we could make a chorus if we smash them in the foot at the right time. I don't know. I've been in so many rooms where people like pitch stuff, and I just went, I don't.
Yeah.
Really? Don't you think we could do better than that? Like.
Yeah, like I said, this one doesn't bother me as much as the opening.
No,
but it is like I was always more of a Monty Python fan than a Mel Brooks fan.
Well,
when I
the
was
first
younger.
one is bothersome because it's confusing.
Yes, yeah,
and you
that
never
bothers
want to
me a
be.
lot.
But I'm sorry, we'll play this.
Yeah,
if you got it. So this is where he mashes him in the foot.
Music
that's the
began
beginning.
long before it was formalized into notes and phrases. For mankind, it began with an accident. Gunga heard the sound and liked it. Gunga begged Gaui to repeat the beautiful scream, but Gaui could not. So Gunga thought, and finally, he found the answer.
Now, somebody wrote this, and it's Mel Brooks, and it doesn't seem like the same guy who did.
And
Now he's
so,
got a chorus.
music was born.
I was hitting him in the nuts with it. Okay. It just keeps going.
Now, are there any vignettes in that movie that you are a fan? Because is it just uneven, where it's like some are
20
good,
minutes
some-
in, and it's
Yeah.
like it's all really schmaltzy,
Yeah.
bad borscht
It is a
belt.
very specific style that some people gravitate to.
It's,
but
for,
it was never my
style
favorite.
is kids,
Yeah.
and or people who've had brain injuries. Like it's just shit. It's super shitty comedy, but
Yeah.
it's weird because he's super creative and prolific and done tons of great stuff. And Blazing Saddles is fun, but it does make you wonder. It's like, what was he like completely left alone? And I feel like that's what you got when he was left alone. But interesting guy, prolific guy. Went, did musicals later in his career and all that. I was just trying to kind of wrap my head. I'm confused when people, and I have this with musicians.
Yeah.
I'm confused that Hall & Oates does Sarah Smile and Maneater.
Yes.
Because it's the same two guys.
Yeah.
And if I were in that band, I was like, Sarah Smile, there you go. Maneater, I'd be like, no.
Yep.
That's shit. Why are we doing this?
100%.
And I have no idea. That comes out of the same people.
Yep.
6 years later, we're writing adult education. And it's like, what? No.
The band that's always been that way for me is Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think they're very uneven to me. Some of their stuff I think is just amazing, musically wonderful song, and then you listen to other stuff and it's like, how is this the same? How is this the same band?
I was just highlighting something that said RHCP.
Oh, is that wow?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Synchronicity
That you
right
didn't
there.
see. Love that album.
Yeah.
We're police guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was sitting eating sushi in Malibu a week ago, and it was nothing but Red Hot Chili. They played like 11 Red Hot Chili, and I'm like, first off, they are the opposite of sushi.
Yeah.
They're jerk chicken band.
Yes.
They're not fucking sushi. And I happen to hate Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though I willingly admit they have good songs. I still don't like them.
See, I like them, but I willingly admit they have terrible songs.
They have a bunch of terrible songs, but there's no less group you'd like to hear than Red Hot Chili Peppers while you're trying to enjoy yourself and relax and eat sushi. But they played like 11 Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, and then it was all Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then I was like, I may have said something like, do we have to, is it all going to be Red Hot Chili Peppers in there? Because I'm fucking annoyed. And the guy went, oh, we'll change it, whatever. And then it became all Fleetwood Mac songs, which is basically the same band and me, and that you guys are a good band, and I never want to hear you ever again. I never want to hear another fucking Fleetwood Mac song. I don't know why it had to be the theme to everyone's life. I never signed off on it. I appreciate you, the Eagles, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, all fantastic. Now get the fuck out of here. I never want to hear you ever again. And by the way, but here's the good news. I've heard enough of you to live 1,000 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Could we find somebody who's Freddie Johnson or Graham Parker or John Hyatt, go find somebody who doesn't get played, who makes good music, and then just put their music on.
Yeah.
Can we do that, or do we just have to hear more Fleetwood Mac? I don't go 8 feet without hearing Fleetwood Mac. So then we do like 11 Red Hot Chili Pepper songs, and then we do 14 Fleetwood Mac songs. And I'm like, I don't know, just put some classical on or smooth jazz or anything.
That's
do
what
we
goes
have
with
to hear
sushi.
this? Anything other than this.
Yeah.
But please, humanity, I don't know when the vote was taken that we had to take our life and go, look, we'll do 1/3 of your waking life is going to be in public spaces, never alone. I would never, ever listen to a Red Hot. By the way, I don't have to listen to a Red Hot Chili Pepper. I just order sushi and I'll hear Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Anywhere you go in LA, you don't really have a choice as to whether you want to hear them or not.
It's Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
The Eagles and Red Hot Chili Peppers, and somebody and some Hall & Oates, and somebody said that's going to be your adult life.
Yeah,
that's all we got for you. And I'm like, I don't know. How about a little Jethro Tull?
Yeah, they're very underplayed too.
What about something that's good?
Yes.
How about something that's good?
Yeah,
and they're like, no, you have to hear the same shit over and over. Jethro Tull is so much fucking better than those bands. It's insane. And by the way, if you want to rock out, how about some UFO? Do we have to hear the same rock songs over and fucking over again? It's never ending. And I think it means people are stupid. But yes, and we can agree on two things. These are skilled bands with some good songs, not all, some who I fucking never want to hear again. Mm-hmm. And by the way, not all. They have songs that are good and then songs we don't need to hear. Ugh. I couldn't get that stupid Red Hot Chili Peppers Airplane song out of my head the other day, and I just couldn't. I almost rammed a pit. I asked one of the Mexicans if I could dive on a piece of open rebar just to push it through my ear.
Airplane.
Just to silence Anthony Kiedis. Jesus Christ. Enough. All right. Here's another weird one. I keep hearing people giving speeches and using, I'm not going to step foot into that building. I think it was some teacher from Minnesota who was going to have his kids protest against ICE or whatever. But I hear lots of people going, I'm not going to step foot into that building, or I'm not going to step foot into the Arizona or whatever. And I go, I always thought it was set foot. That's how I grew up saying set foot. I'm not going to set foot into that building. But all I hear now is I'm not going to step foot.
Yeah, I think it's set. I always used to hear set foot.
I heard set foot too, and it's been driving me nuts.
Yeah.
Because everyone just says step foot.
Yep.
And I think we're screwing it up. So I literally went and looked it up this morning because I respect my audience. And it's set foot.
It's weird that it changed
people
like that.
Just
that people
changed
just latched
it.
onto it.
And they just changed it, and they fucked it up. And now there's a whole generation that has only heard man-eater and step foot, and they got it all wrong. Yeah. So I realize that everyone that says step foot is like under 40 now.
Does it bother you every time you hear it a little bit?
Everything bothers me every time I hear it.
But the one that's like that for me, when I grew up, if you did something, if you made a mistake, you'd say by accident. Mm-hmm. I hear people say on accident now.
Oh, really?
And I was like, every time, it just bothers me a little bit every time I hear it.
That means you're a comedian.
It's by accident.
I don't have a set step thing with by and on accident. It never bothered me, but I've never thought about it.
Yeah.
But somehow set foot gets to me. And I hear it every time. And then I eventually, after hearing it only as step foot, I started to question myself. I was like, I guess I got it wrong. Why do I think it's set foot when the humanity loves the Red Hot Chili Peppers and they love they love Fleetwood Mac and they love Hall & Oates, and who am I?
Well, you know, set foot is right because that's what it used to be, and also
but it's been 20 years of step foot, and I've gotten other things wrong. So,
but you also know, because if it's the women protesting ICE in Minneapolis that are saying it, it's probably wrong. They're probably the ones who got it wrong.
The traditional and general preferred idiom is set foot. I'll set foot in this house, blah, blah, blah. Step foot is frequently used in causal speech. It's considered incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we fix this? Let's fix this, people. All right. Adam's got the news.
Yep.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with that right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts are in the business of keeping your car on the road. They offer friendly, helpful service and all the knowledge you need. If I can't figure out something with my car, well, I go over to O'Reilly. That's the first call I make. They have thousands of parts in stock and can test your battery for free. Need wipers, brake light, or quick fix? They'll get you the right part. Everyone who works there is knowledgeable and friendly. And I know, last time I went there, the guy held the door open for me when I was walking out. They're professional parts people. That's who they are over at O'Reilly. It's a one-stop shop for DIY auto stuff, in-store or online. It's O'Reilly, right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
At Pluto TV, we're celebrating Black History Month with our free curated collection of Black entertainment.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Catch award-winning films like Dreamgirls, Monsters Ball, and Selma.
We must make a massive demonstration.
Iconic hits like School Days and Set It Off. Plus full seasons of shows like Tyler Perry's Sisters and Power.
I got you.
It's star-studded brilliant Black entertainment, and it's all free.
It's getting good.
This month and always on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
All right, Adam Yenzer has the news.
Yeah, we got some infighting among the Democrats over the homelessness in California. Barack Obama, he was on a podcast this week. He took a thinly veiled jab at California Governor Gavin Newsom over the homeless atrocity in Los Angeles. During a conversation with Brian Tyler Cohen, Obama explained, "We should recognize that the average person doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown." We have his comments here.
The same would be true, let's say, here in Los Angeles around the homeless issue. I think morally, ethically speaking, it is an atrocity that in a country this wealthy, we have people just on the streets. And we should have we should insist on policies that recognize their full humanity, people who are houseless, and be able to provide them the help and resources that they need. But we should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown. And that we're not going to be able to build a working majority and support for the resources that we need to help folks like that, whether it's drug treatment or temporary housing or what have you. We're not going to be able to generate support for it if we simply say, you know what, it's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want, because that's a losing political strategy. The same.
He's a skilled word salad guy.
Yeah.
So AOC and Kamala Harris are dumb word salad
Yes.
people, where you see. So it's like there are no actual warlocks. There's clumsy magicians and skilled magicians, but no one's actually magical.
Yeah.
So the really skilled ones make you think they're warlocks.
Yeah.
And he's a skilled one. They don't do anything, and they don't possess any power, but they're skilled.
Yeah.
So he's a warlock of word salad. He's a word salad warlock, where AOC and Kamala just got one of those home magic kits that they bought the weekend before, and are clumsily trying to fumble through.
They're like pulling words out of a hat.
They're word salad, but it's not working.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But they're both talking about nothing all the time.
Yeah.
He's just skillfully talking about nothing. So he's a word salad warlock, and they're 12-year-olds who got Marshall Brodine's kit from online and is practicing magic at home using rubber bands.
Because you can tell when Kamala and AOC do it, they don't actually understand what they're obfuscating. They're confused from the start. He knows what he's obfuscating about.
Right, except for nothing ever happens.
Yes.
And he'll never go to a place who interviews him to go, all right, what's the plan?
Yeah.
You keep talking, but I don't know what the plan is.
And like in this clip, he dances around what the Democrats and Newsom, especially in California, when it comes to homelessness, they're aware that there's this element of it that is drug addicts and mentally ill people and people that are just accepting this sedentary lifestyle.
It's all drug addicts and it's all mentally ill people.
But then they try to present it as it's these down on their luck, hardworking people that just wound up, and they try to obfuscate that.
What chance are you going to have of solving a problem if you can't identify the problem?
Yep.
It could be a transmission issue. It could be a roofing issue.
Yeah.
What are if you go, I got a leaky roof. Well, those shingles are haunted. We have to come together and we have to agree that no shingles illegal and that shingles need to be treated with dignity and respect. And I, for one, am going to start a blue ribbon shingle panel where we discuss shingles having a seat at the table. Oh, get up there with the fucking Henry's patch and fix this shit.
Yeah.
Or shut up. Because all you guys do is talk and no patching ever happens. So there's a couple things. He calls them unhoused or houseless. Houseless.
They keep changing that term.
I got a great idea.
Yeah.
You got 5 houses, bitch. Give them one.
Yes.
I'll get 4 people off the street. I'll get 4 families off the street because these are hardworking folks, but the mill shut down or the plant shut down and now they're out of work and it's a husband with 2 and wife with 2 kids who got pushed down on the street because their landlord raised their rent. Why don't you give them one of your 5 houses?
Yeah.
And then now you don't do it because A, you don't give a shit, but B, you don't want junkies destroying your house. But if it's just a person that doesn't have a house and you got a whole bunch of houses, then we could solve this problem lickety-split. Everyone who had more than one house could give them a house.
Yeah.
But not me. I own more than one house, but I don't call them houseless. I call them junkies.
Yeah.
So I don't need to give them a house. And it'd be the same with reparations. You guys could all give them some of your money.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we could take care of it. You give them one of your houses and give them some of your money. I don't believe in either one of them, so I'm not doing either one of those things.
And going back to the word salad thing, we both laughed at the word houseless. They've changed that term so many times. They do nothing to fix the problem. First it was homeless, then it was persons experiencing homelessness, then it was unhoused person. And how is houseless different than homeless? It's just you're just switching the words. They're going to call them outside Americans next or something.
They've never camping Americans.
Just stray citizens.
They've never somehow have some sort of weird problem with labeling. And everybody who comes across the border is a proud, hardworking person who's looking for a better life for them and their family. And it's like, that's some of them, and then there's drug dealers and human smugglers and folks who then there's terrorists.
Yes.
Like there's a whole bunch of different kinds of people who come across the border. So I don't know why everyone who lives outside is a junkie who has a mental issue, or they have a mental issue and they're junkie, and you have to nobilize this thing. They all do it. I have no idea, but let me just explain something. When you see somebody, yeah, that's right. The California school board woman was mad about the term homeless. She does not like that. She likes unhoused. I forgot. Super important. Super important distinction. I got to play her just because it's all time. And by the way, in my pantheon of chick think, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about chick think.
I am personally offended by what was presented.
Thank you, chick thinker.
On so many different levels.
So many. Oh, man.
One thing I would like to see updated is the word homeless to unhoused.
All right, problem solved. There we go. All right, you can pause it. Okay, 100% chick think.
Yeah.
Does nothing. All talk, satiates. By the way, when they talk, they satiate, and then they do nothing.
Yep.
Okay, let me explain something. When you see somebody and they come pulling up, or you're just walking your dog and you see a guy at a stop sign in his car, and the car is filled, the dashboard is filled with newspapers and fast food wrappings, and the car looks like it hasn't been washed in 6 years, and the bumper's dragging, you look at it and you go, that guy's fucked up. That guy's a loser. And then someone would go, how do you know? Maybe he lives in a beautiful architectural wonder with, German engineered cabinets and full extension Aykroyd ball bearing drawers. And you go, I'll bet that guy's fucking apartment is a shit show.
Yep.
And there's nobody who thinks that guy's apartment isn't a shit show. We all know that guy's apartment shit. Now, how do we know? I don't know where he's employed. I don't know what his sign is. I don't know what his education is. All I do is glance at his car for 3 Mississippi while he's parked at that stop sign and then drives off and go, that fucking guy's fucked up.
You know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you go to a town and there's homeless people flopped out everywhere, your town is fucked up.
Yeah.
You're not running your town right. And you can go, well, we have all these other... We have all these other things for seniors and after school program. You can tell me all you want, and we're going to do a whole thing where we're going to get kids meals. I go, your town's a mess. Mm-hmm. You're not running your town right. And you can say whatever. We're the first to implement this Green New Bill or to put a carbon capture. Tell me anything you want. There's people dying.
Yeah.
And expiring the street, your town is not run right. Conversely, if I go to a town where there's no homeless, I go, oh, their town is run right.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me you're doing a good job in your town and have homeless folks sprawled out everywhere in the street.
Yeah, and so that's what Newsom's trying to claim now.
I wouldn't step foot in this town.
This town is the microwave that you left the burrito explode in.
That's right.
At his State of the State address at the Capitol last month, Newsom celebrated a statewide drop in homelessness. However, Los Angelenos were not here for false hopes.
By the way, this is like saying I dated a girl that had 100 zits on her face at all times, and now she has 81 zits on her face.
She took care of it. She's beautiful now.
Well, I could celebrate the drop, a 14% drop in zits.
Yep.
Or you could go, your girlfriend has 80 zits on her face.
Yep.
Okay.
And California spent more than $24 billion on homeless programs during Newsom's time. And I think all we've done is changed homeless to unhoused person.
It costs $24 billion to get people to say unhoused.
Yeah. And then in this Obama interview on this podcast, there was also another interesting moment that went kind of viral. Other than politics, Obama also seemed to say that he believes aliens are real, but he hasn't seen them. We have this clip here.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in, what is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the President of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
It's funny you just said the soft on Democrats questions on the podcast. He just said, I think aliens are real, and then the guy doesn't ask even one follow-up question.
The deep leg cross. I'm going to start, let's see, Jules Dash. That's my nom de plume, because Jules Dash is perfect because you don't know if it's a man or a woman.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start a podcast called The Deep Leg Cross with Jules Dash, and I'll get all of the hard left. I'll get Hillary Clinton, AOC will come in there, Obama. I'll get Michelle Obama. I'll get Gavin Newsom, because none of them would ever go on a podcast where the guy asks real questions.
No,
but they will go on the deep leg cross with Jules Dash.
The softest questions in the podcast.
No, I'll ambush him once I get him on.
Oh, so it's a trick. I like that.
Trick.
I see.
It's a
nice.
trick.
I like that.
It's a trick to get Hillary Clinton and ask her all about Epstein.
In the middle of the interview, you uncross your legs and spring it, and they're like, "Wow, what's happening?"
Yeah,
They know that's when the gig is up, is when your legs come uncrossed.
Right, and I sit like Trump. I make the diamond out of my two hands, and I put them. I accentuate my nutsack.
The power pose.
That's right, and I pull out some like Oakley blade sunglasses, and I put them on top of my trucker's hat. I go, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you make of the aliens? Are you a believer in aliens, or do you have any thoughts on him kind of saying they're real, but he hasn't seen them?
I'll tell you how I'm wired. I am wired this way. I was driving here today, having people almost cut me off. I'm literally 10 freeway, 405 freeway and 101 freeway, the most traveled freeways in the world with the worst drivers in the world, and people all sort of just cutting in front of people, like avoiding accidents the whole time. And I just think, could everyone just use their blinker? Could they just use their blinker? It's so doable. It's on every car. And if they just put it up on the freeway signs and made a campaign out of it, like, use your blinker. Come on, use it or you'll be cited. Like, if you're changing lanes and you're not using your blinker, you're going to get a ticket. And we do it the same way we do with water conservation. We're in a drought zone. Don't hose your driveway down. Like, could people use their blinker? And what a utopia. And then we could avoid so many accidents and deaths and injury. But they'll never do it, and no one will ever tell them to do it. And it's not it's always slow for the cone zone or click it or ticket, but no one will just put it, do it. Just use your blinker. Like, I would show up to a city council and go, listen, you guys can talk about homeless, unhoused, unhoused neighbors. How about the blinker? How about the fucking blinker? There's people in accidents. We could just do it. We could just put it up on the sign, and we could do a whole thing going, you are going to get a ticket. If a cop is 100 yards behind you on the 101 and you move lanes and you did not signal, you are getting a ticket. And just do it. And do it in fucking Spanish. And just do it. And we'll never do it. And I drive listening to Fleetwood Mac and upset that we could do it, but we don't. But when it comes to aliens, I'm powerless. I have no...
I was waiting to see how it came back to aliens.
There's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
They're there or they aren't there. They arrive, they don't arrive. I don't involve myself because I have no dominion.
As long as they use their blinker as their landing.
That's right. That's right.
That one pisses me off so much too, because I feel like the blinker is the thing, not using it. You're going like out of your way to be lazy when you're not using it. It's such an easy thing to do. And like for me, it's like muscle memory. It's like I just do it. I don't even think about it.
I agree, but people are totally out of it and need to be scared into it. And there's a good news. We have this system of freeway signs and you're driving underneath it.
But it's just
and
laziness.
You can just say it.
It's like other breaking
like,
laws.
You say lazy, but it is lazy, but it's more out of it. Like I don't think people are sort of half brain dead and don't even really know what they're doing anymore. They're just sort of going through life in a sort of semi-zombie like state. And I'm just saying they need to be reminded constantly. Like if you just put that on every one of those freeway signs, use your blinker, 80% of more people would use their blinker because they just
that does make sense that they're out of it. Because what I would think about it, like I was saying, is like other traffic violations, like if speeding, I get that there's a motivation to do that. I want to get there faster. Or cutting someone off. It's like, I wanted to get in there. It's rude, but not using the blinker is just... There's no motivation for it other than you're just spaced out or don't care.
It's your microwave. Yeah. It's not my home microwave. Yeah. It's the work microwave. Why should I screw the top back on the salt? I don't care. Yeah. I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm changing lanes. What do you know? Why do you need to know? By the way, sorry, go ahead.
We got Hillary Clinton in the news also. Hillary Clinton says migration went too far and needs to be fixed in a humane way. While in Germany for the Munich Security Conference, Hillary Clinton participated in a panel.
Immigration, or migration?
I think it's another word game that they play. I think they call it migration more in Europe than we call it immigration here. I think they call it migration.
Like caribou looking for land.
The Great Migration.
Well, they call the guys running them coyotes, so maybe they are caribou or deer or sheep.
I'm picturing now like a caravan of Mexicans, and then there's like flamingos and wildebeest, everything just running all beside them.
It's a funny Pixar romp you're talking about.
Exactly.
The coyotes.
During the panel, Clinton appeared to take a stronger approach to her previous stance on border security. She said there is a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing. It needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people. I don't know that we're doing that. And how we're going to have a strong family structure because it is at the base of civilization.
Right. So she's another... chick think, say something, say whatever, nothing comes out the other end person. So what these people do, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting because I realize the kind of builder construction part of me, along with the way people used to be if they worked on farms or did mining or logging or something like that, they do a thing where it's pretty much like when you build, you go, you come into the bathroom and you go, geez, the floor's like kind of flexy. And then they go, all right, what's the problem? And you go, well, let me check it out. And then you go, looks like the toilet's been leaking like slowly, like over years, And then you go, well, what are we going to do? Well, the wax ring is all decomposed. They used to call them Johnny rings. Don't know why. But anyway, Johnny Cat? Huh. Johnny Cat is kitty litter, and the wax ring underneath the commode is called a Johnny ring. Is Johnny mean the John?
I think it's probably a reference to the John for the toilet, or the bathroom. Yeah.
But the John is also the guy's out soliciting a prostitute too. So where did that?
He's got a different Johnny ring. He has to get that checked at the doctor.
So what I'm saying is I've dealt with this before. Where you go, the floor is like flexing, and then somebody finds out that the toilet's been seeping, leaking for 5 years, and then the customer comes in and goes, "What's the fix? How much is it going to cost? Is it going to be expensive? Is it going to take a long time?" And then what I would say to them is, we're going to have to bust out. We got to remove the toilet, and we have to bust out all the tile, and then we got to bust out the mortar bed or the cement board it was placed on, and then we're going to have to pull up the subflooring, 3/4 ply, 1-inch ply, OSB, whatever, and it's because that's all saturated and fucked up. And then some of your joists may be fucked up from all the years of this seeping on it, so we're going to have to either replace some of those joists or like sister onto some of those joists. And then once we get that all taken care of, we're going to have to replace the subflooring, put the hardy back or cement board back on it, and then retile it and grout it and seal it. And they go, I want to fix this problem, but I don't want to do that. And I go, that's it.
That's how you fix the problem.
That's all we got. And they go, well, listen, I agree that people need sturdy bathroom floors and that no toilet should leak and that no Johnny wax ring should be compromised, but I don't want to do this. And I'm like, and it's going to cost $12,000.
Yeah.
And they go, well, can we listen? Here's what I know. I want this floor fixed. I don't want to do this, and that's all I know.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, bitch, this is it. This is the fix.
Yes.
You don't want the fix. Yes.
Yep.
You want a secure border that treats people humanely, and every Democrat is like, yeah, the 15 million illegals in here, they should have to be processed legally, but we have to do it in a humane and safe way. All right, my work is done.
Yeah.
The same thing done with the subfloor. No, your work is not done. We got to bust tile out. You're like, I don't want to bust the tile out. That's the only way to fix this problem. We have to go into the neighborhoods, have to go get these people. Oh, you're against that. Okay.
Yeah.
What's your plan? What's your plan for fixing this floor in this bathroom that doesn't involve taking all the tile out and demoing it and doing everything I just said? What is your plan? And the answer, what they would give you, is they'd go, I'm not an architect, I'm not an engineer, and I'm not a carpenter.
Yeah.
But there's got to be a better way. And my answer is, there's no fucking other way.
Yeah.
That's that.
Well, and the word salad she's playing with here is similar to what Obama's doing with homelessness, is that the Democrats, they know they're underwater on these issues. And none of these are like extreme positions, like ending, solving the homelessness problem, securing the border. They're popular issues. And it seems like they want to pay lip service to oh, no, we want to do something about that. But like you're saying, they don't actually want to take the steps that it takes to fix any of those things.
Well, it's funny. It's like voter ID stuff is the greatest. But listen, I'm gonna take it a step further with voter ID. Mm-hmm. People do this thing all the time where they go, you can't get on an airplane and you can't check in to your whatever. I was talking to somebody yesterday. It's like, they go, I need to find my passport. I go, what do you need your passport? I go, I tried to check into a hotel last week and use my license, but my license was expired. By the way, can we cut those people a little bit of slack?
Yeah.
It's a picture of you.
Yes, yeah.
It's a picture of you with a date on it that's a week ago. Yeah. No longer.
You're not this same guy from a month ago.
You're not this person.
Yeah.
You're not this eye color, brown, height 6 foot, weight 200. This is not you.
Yeah. You were him from December 2022 to December 2025, but now I'm not sure anymore.
I work at the fucking Radisson in Irvine. I'm just trying to figure out if you are you.
Yeah.
And because this thing's 3 days expired, you are not you. Now it's a Friday. On Tuesday, this was you.
Yeah.
Tuesday, I would look at a picture of you. I would look at a picture of you, and I'd hold it up, and I'd go, well, that seems like you. But now it's Friday.
Yep.
And I would argue it's still me. And by the way, I'm not renting a semi-trailer with an 18-wheeler from you. I'm going up in a room.
In a Radisson.
You just need to know it's me. Yeah. We're not using, I may use it to cut up a little Coke later, but that's none of your business. But I'm not using this driver's license. I get it. Maybe if you're renting a car, maybe if you're renting a piece of farming equipment or something, I'm just going up to the second floor to take a nap. Mm-hmm. You're trying to figure out if this is me, whether it's the airport or whether it's the Radisson. Yeah, it's expired. Mm-hmm. By the way, I could never do any of these jobs because they'd hold the thing up and I'd go, it's expired. And they'd go, yeah. And I'd go,
yeah, no big deal.
What do I care? I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
Who's going to know about this? But it's so I'm going to take it a step further. Everyone goes, well, you need it. You need to buy cigarettes. You need it to buy this. You buy alcohol. First off, you need it. You need it for everything all the time, 100%. I can't even tell you the amount of times I show my ID when I travel. By the way, over stuff you never even thought about.
Yeah.
Like you're going to go do Fox. You're going to go walk into the Fox building. It's like a whole thing with the ID. Or you're going to go Sirius XM. It's like a whole. It's 100% ID 100% of the time.
And there are no immigrants or black people at these places, right? Because they don't have ID. They can't get in there.
Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. Maybe Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory. Or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps, just perhaps, it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. That's Homes.com. We've done your homework.
At Pluto TV, we're celebrating Black History Month with our free curated collection of Black entertainment.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Catch award-winning films like Dreamgirls, Monsters Ball, and Selma.
We must make a massive demonstration.
Iconic hits like School Days and Set It Off. Plus full seasons of shows like Tyler Perry's Sisters and Power.
I got you.
It's star-studded brilliant Black entertainment, and it's all free.
It's getting good.
This month and always on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
So here, I'll take it a step further. If you don't possess an ID in these modern times, you are not participating in our society. You are not paying taxes. You're not creating jobs. You're not paying insurance and medical and dental. You don't have employees. You don't feed into a 401k. You're not doing anything.
Yeah.
If you do not have a license, you are essentially, or an ID, you're essentially living underground. And thus, I don't want you to vote. I don't want you making policy on schools or on taxes or on infrastructure if you are not participating in any of it in any meaningful way and you pay no taxes, then fuck you. I don't want you to vote. You don't need to vote. We don't need your vote. Your vote is more free shit for you. That's all it is, because you're not paying into the system. So not only is it a thing where it's like you're not creating anything. You're actually voting for the free stuff. You're like, oh, how's this person with no ID going to vote on the millionaire tax?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking pay up, bitches.
It's just the selfish motive.
I
That's
want
all
more
that's going to
free
drive
shit.
them.
Yes, you're fucking poor. You're not contributing. You're not paying any taxes. I know how you're going to vote on everything. It's going to be more free shit for you.
Yeah.
So no. And we do this thing where I go, prisoners aren't allowed to vote. And I go, yeah, because they're not part of our society. They're detrimental to our society. And I don't know what the legalese, but we all basically agree that if you are a purse snatcher and robbing homes and punching grandmas and you're incarcerated, we don't need your vote. And the answer is, why not? They're still American citizens. They're human beings. Why shouldn't they vote? Because they're not helping our society, and I don't want their vote. Okay, I'm doing the same thing with people who don't get an ID. You're not part of our society. Fuck you. You don't get to vote.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's not going to hurt society if you, who are selling oranges by the side of a freeway for cash and pocketing all the money, is not voting.
Yeah. And they, what always blows my mind is the arguments the Democrats still try to come up with to block voter ID. Like their latest one I've heard is where they try to say that women who change their last name once they get married, they're not like that's never been resolved, or that's going to keep millions of women from voting. They just invent these scenarios.
Well, they do a fun math. They go, there is 175 million women in this country, and there's 100 million of voting age, and 70% of them have gotten married. So that's 70 million people. That's 70 million or nobody.
They like the hyperbole that you don't like. They like to use hyperbole to just make these grand exaggerations.
Yeah, and they know it. No, what they did is they worked the Jim Crow 2.0, or as Biden used to like to say,
Jim Eagle.
Does anyone ever fucking wince and just go, shut the fuck up? Who wrote that?
Just insane.
I needed to be in the room for the Mel Brooks History of the World Part 1 and Jim Eagle, because I would have been...
whatever writer pitched that.
Yeah,
would
bad.
Be, yeah.
No, different. Next. What's next? What else you got? So they tried to pitch the whole black thing for a long time, which is super insulting to black people. But they rode that for a long time. But then the whole Atlanta thing and... that the Georgia thing didn't work out. They moved the All-Star game. Okay, good. How?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Homeless, houseless, move the All-Star game. It fixes every problem, doesn't it? So they did all that. It didn't really work. And then the polling started coming in, and it was like black people are like 71% on this. So they were like, fuck it, let's shift to women. Because what they have to do is they basically... they're like a four-square game. They go, all right, in one square we got women, on one square we got blacks, and in one square we got the LGBT whatever community, and then one square we have a sort of nebulous immigrant community. Probably means Mexican, but could mean anyone from anywhere. And we'll just keep bouncing the ball back and forth. And right now we'll claim black with voter ID, but that doesn't work. So bounce it over to the woman's corner, and then we'll claim it's against women. And if that doesn't work, we'll bounce it over to the gay corner, and we'll say it attacks the gay community. And if that doesn't work, we'll bounce it over to the Mexican corner, and we'll say that it attacks immigrants.
Yeah.
And then you just rinse and repeat. We'll just keep saying, here's what we're doing for this community. And if you ever runs out of momentum for one group, we'll just shift it to the other group. So they shifted voter ID. It was 15 years of black, and now it's women.
Yeah.
Well, it's women and black, but they basically shifted to black.
Yeah.
It's basically they toggle in between racism. It's all racism talk, and at some point it becomes oligarchy.
Yeah.
Bring down the billionaires talk, and then that wears out, and then it shifts back to racism. So you'll hear they'll dry up for a little while.
Oh, and they find games to play with that on every issue, like the Hillary Clinton thing, where she's now, speaking strong and we need to secure the border. Her previous policy, she used to criticize the Trump administration for saying that their policy separates children from their families.
Right.
But they do that game there where if you keep the families together and deport them, they say, they're deporting children.
Right.
If you keep one parent here or deport the parent and take the kid with somebody else, then they say they're separating children.
Right.
So they just don't want you to solve the problem either way.
Yeah. So it seems like the process complainers, basically. They're just complainers. I want to know what I want to know what the answer is. They don't provide the answer. They provide the complaint, the gripe. Yes.
So there was an ESPN vet covering the Olympics. She called J.D. Vance a demon who made her feel ill at the hockey match because she simply saw him there.
ESPN vet?
Yes, Sarah Spain, a veteran reporter or broadcaster for ESPN. Her name's Sarah Spain.
So she still works for ESPN.
She still works for ESPN. In a recent Good Game podcast that is now making the rounds on conservative media, she said she sat near Vance at a U.S. women's hockey match at the Winter Olympics and got satanic vibes. She recounted his appearance with Secretary of State Marco Rubio as a lowlight of the Milan Cortina games. When I see J.D. Vance's eyeliner face, I literally feel ill. She said, I feel like I just looked at a demon like the devil, and I don't even believe in that.
What? Anyway, too many chicks,
yes.
Too many positions with too many microphones.
Yep.
And that's why we have all this fucking nutty feeling shit all the time. Oh, she's the one.
Yep.
There's also this weird fantasy, and I think it's female-driven in that they have to ascribe stuff to stuff. Like, it's kind of back to the automotive analogy. Like, when somebody cuts somebody off, I like it. But my girlfriend, when somebody cuts me off, and people cut me off pretty hard sometimes, but I'm always aware of what's going on when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And I never get in accidents because I'm aware of what's going on. And when I drive race cars, you drive in a pile of cars going at a fast rate where they actually, like, I've done races like the Long Beach Grand Prix and stuff where you're going down shoreline and the guy behind you is touching you.
Yeah.
He's not 3 feet away. He's making like contact with you. And you're going into the first turn 3 wide. Like there's a guy right to your right to your left. And I have a comfort level with being close to people, but I'm also aware of what they're doing. And people will cut me off, and I'll see it. Like I'll see it, and I'll stop. And my girlfriend will reach across and honk and go like, "Fuck that guy," And I go, he doesn't know where he is.
Yep.
He's not doing it to me. He's not conscious of me. He's just driving, looking at his fucking phone.
Yep.
And there's a thing with women where they have to kind of turn everything, it's like, my cat thinks it's a person. Look at him. He knows what he knows. He's got a sense of humor too, that cat, dude. Cat, he knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But you create that in him. And there's a version of that with the cat that's good for the cat because he gets people food.
Yeah.
And then there's the J.D. Vance.
Yep.
He's evil.
He's evil. It goes into spiritual woo-woo stuff.
And it's like, what's Donald Trump about? He likes pain.
Yeah.
What? He likes to torture those who don't have enough.
Yes.
And it's like, so you think he's just like the Marquis de Sade? Like he just enjoys torturing poor. He hates poor people.
Yeah.
Wants to take it out on them. It's like, okay. He's an evil warlock.
Yes.
I see. Is everything a Disney movie for you? Or can you just go, this guy's a family-oriented guy who worked hard, who grew up with nothing, and now he has thoughts about helping this nation that are different than your thoughts, although your thoughts are no thoughts.
No.
Yours, no one's illegal and there are no borders. And you're with John Lennon. You're imagining a world that doesn't exist. He's actually applying laws, but he's evil and satanic, which is super chick thinky. Yeah, is what I'm saying.
It even goes back to like the chick think of horoscopes and stuff like that.
Right,
How there's
like
this
crystals.
sort of weird, abstract, spiritual woo-woo stuff. And she even says, "I felt like I was sitting next to Satan or a demon, and I don't even believe in that." It's they just kind of bring it in and make it up on their own what their spiritual world is.
Also, it's like, I don't know how the real Satan works, and you're probably religious or more religious than I am. I don't think the real Satan is that interested in lowering taxes and school choice. I feel like he's got some other things up his sleeve. Am I right?
Yes.
Because if it's just
And
lowering corporate taxes and giving kids vouchers for school choice, and maybe Satan got a couple of points.
Well, and I think he's more subtle than, she's saying like, oh, the eyeliner, and they picture Satan as just, he's going to come with a red tail and a pitchfork announcing that he's Satan, and
That's not how it works.
No, let's see here.
No, he comes disguised as a publicist.
I don't know if you've been following the Epstein stuff. The Justice Department has sent Congress a list of names who appear in the Jeffrey Epstein files and defends the redactions in a 6-page letter. Mm-hmm. The letter addressed to the leaders of the Senate and House Judiciary Committee says the names show up in a wide variety of contexts, ranging from people who emailed directly with Epstein or Maxwell to those who never interacted with them but were mentioned in documents like media reports.
Can we do this with the Epstein file and the trench of 3 million pages released? Mm-hmm. Let's do this. Let's come up with a list of notable Hollywood types and politicians who aren't on the list, because it'll be much faster that way. So there's 9 people that aren't listed, and every single one of them out. We got B. Arthur, not on the list. And then...
Wait, let me check. No.
There's no B. Arthur or Ben Vereen. I'm going alphabetically. Yes. Abe Vigoda is where I'm going to start.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to list the 9 things who aren't on the list, and then you can just assume everyone else is on the list.
Yes. I feel like when Congress is like asking about like whose name is in this or whose name to redact, they're just sitting in Congress going, raise your hand if you want your name redacted, because they're all in there too with emails. And the thing is, I think some people did obviously do nefarious things with Epstein, but he was just this connected guy where some of these people were on his plane and didn't do anything, or some people had an email with him, and it's bad that they're covering this all up. But you were mentioning celebrities. These are some of the names that have come up in it. Michael Jackson, Marilyn Monroe, who died before Epstein was ever born, Elvis Presley, and Janis Joplin are all names that have been like mentioned in the Epstein files.
And again, like being named, and also I've said a million times, the allure of flying private is so, it's the siren song.
Yeah.
Because us bums are schlepping through the airport, having to throw our waters away before we go through the thing and take our shoes off and getting the stink eye from everyone at TSA and putting our bags through some sort of template, trying to mash your bag. And flying private is like, the best part is no security.
Yeah.
You pull in to, Million Air, good name.
Yes.
And you just walk in and someone like hands you a champagne glass and you just plop down and you're like, where's the plane? Oh, they'll take your bags.
There's no TSA. You just like walk right out on the tarmac. Yeah, it's amazing.
You literally just walk out and your bags will follow you. And when you're driving there, it's like, when are we leaving? We're leaving when you get here.
Yeah.
Is when we're leaving. It's the non-security.
Yeah.
That it's the not having to, the super weird, sort of quasi-depressing security thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm leaving Florida last week, and it's like, do you guys have, oh God, do you have clear here? No, we don't, this airport doesn't have clear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got to get into that line, And I'm like, oh, that's a long line. We don't have clear. And it's like that, it's that versus just walking on.
And with those TSA and the clear, they always invent one more exclusive thing that I don't have. It's like, I get this, then it's like, oh, but what's that line?
Yes.
Oh, that's the super exclusive clear world access line.
You need your hunting license, sir. Also, it's always something different. It's like I'm pulling my ID out. We don't need the ID. Okay, well, everyone needed the ID
every single time. Yeah,
it's literally anything but the same.
Yes. Do I need my laptop? No. Leave your laptop in, but take off your shoes. No. Leave your shoes on, but take your belt off. No, it all stays. It's just whatever you do is wrong.
Yes, and listen, there are plenty of these people who it's strip clubs. If you look at the clock on the wall in a strip club, it's like 25 minutes fast. because they close at 2, but everyone who works there wants to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So they set it forward and they go, last call. And they're like, but this before everyone had a phone.
Yeah.
I would see it and I'd go, is it 2 already? And they're like, no, it's 1:30.
Yeah.
They're moving you out of here.
Yeah.
And I felt that way at the airport. The bowl. They don't want to deal with the bowl. You get everything in your backpack.
Yep.
Everything. Glasses, keys, phone,
Yes.
earbuds. And I'm like, it's on the move.
Yes.
On them, and I'm
And they're very demanding. They're not like, we know it's different each time. It's, no, this is how you do it here.
Right. And I end up, I want the bowl.
Yes.
I don't
It's
get
the
the bowl.
easiest.
And you'll see the bowls like stacked up in the distance. I go, is there some sort of coyote who could run me a bowl over here? And it's like, sir, in the back, put it all in the back. And then I end up in a panic taking all the glasses and the sunglasses and the earbuds and the keys. I mash them. I just throw them all in. And then at some point I get to the other side and I literally have to take everything out of my backpack.
Because everything back.
Then there's that moment. Oh shit, the earbuds. Where'd I put the...
Yes.
Are they in? Are they in a different pocket of the back? Too many pockets.
Did it slide down beneath everything else that's in here?
Yes. They hide that bowl.
Yeah.
They steal that bowl.
The worst is when you see the stack of bowls and there's like 3 left,
right?
And you see the person in front of you take it, and like, no, if it gets down to 0, I'm gonna have to wait until the TSA agent goes and brings the new stack of bowls.
The bowl's in the wrong
you have to
shape.
wait there.
It needs to be oblong. Once they got that iPhone 19, it's not fitting in the bowl right. It dominates the bowl. So yes, flying private. You just walk right in.
Yeah. And you think that's what
part.
enticed everyone to associate with Jeffrey Epstein?
I am telling you, when somebody has a private plane, you immediately suck up to them. I'm not kidding. Mark Garagos, attorney, has a private plane. I love Mark Garagos. He flies us all the time.
Yeah.
It's the best. I've even flown his plane without him. Like, it's that good. And you never ever offend anyone with a private jet because you are screwing yourself. You do not want to get off that list.
Yeah.
And thus, everybody flew his private jet because it's so much better.
Yeah.
And then also, if you're Bill Clinton, I mean, you get recognized or whatever. And also, it's like, well, Bill Clinton can get his own private jet. Yeah, it's $50,000 to get from LA to Chicago in a private jet.
Yeah.
Like, it is literally $50,000.
Yeah.
It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. Even when you do, like, well, what if we got a jet to go to, Chicago and we got 11 people. We could split it up. Everyone's got to pay $5,700. It's like you go, fuck that.
Yeah.
Right.
If we have time for one quick video here, this comes out of Chicago.
Chicago.
There was a student.
I just said Chicago.
There was a student in school. There was an anti-ICE protest in the school, and one student decided to walk around with a sign that said "I love ICE," and he was then assaulted by an obese student. It's very funny.
We support ICE and law enforcement. I support ICE.
That's crazy, bro.
I don't know what's crazy about this.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you.
You're gonna punch me?
Yes.
And you're gonna get in trouble for that.
Okay.
Whoa. Chill out, bro. I stand for my beliefs. I'm gonna peacefully stand here and support my beliefs. I support ICE and law enforcement.
Peacefully fuck yourself.
Whoa. That's against school code. No swearing in the school.
That's so great.
They're on their way there right now. We also have
cops have to
They got the
show
whole
up.
cops, the police and the crossing guards.
I support ICE and law enforcement. Am I allowed to stand here?
Fat nerd.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have this sign too, like everyone else? Okay. I just stand for my beliefs, like this is okay.
But man, I like the little clap punch first. Like he's like a cartoon character.
Yes.
And that punch was probably the most cardio he's had in a while. Was just throwing that one swing.
Yeah. He carb loaded on Pop-Tarts. Yeah, he did like a Popeye thing.
Yes,
where he punched his other hand first.
Yes.
Pop. But I do appreciate he went with a gut punch and an uppercut, like a Buster Douglas type of Razor Ruddock type uppercut. Most guys just go with a straight right. But he did the thing. He slapped his other hand.
He announced his punch first too.
He did.
He really
punches are so much less effective when you announce.
Yes,
them, you know what I mean.
Give them some time to prepare.
They're always best. They're like revenge.
Yeah.
The dish served cold.
Yep.
You shouldn't see it coming.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want to right off the griddle punch. You'll be able to protect yourself.
And he does have that like little effeminate thing in his voice. Like whenever they tape the people protesting ICE, that little sort of condescending tone.
I've always known that nerds were much more rageful, and women are much more rageful than men, and everyone thinks men are the bad ones, or at least the straight men or the sort of guys who played on the football team or enlisted guys. They're not. It's the nerd guys. Nerds are the angriest, and women are the angriest, and they didn't engage in rough and tumble play, so they don't know how to gauge themselves, so they don't really know anything. So they go into altercations with people. You know, the ICE guy's 200 pounds, the Karen's 140, and she's like, what are you going to do about it?
They don't
push
know
them,
the consequences.
and they knock them down because they've not practiced the consequences. As a guy who was beaten by my friends severely my entire life, and my friends were all animals, I know that if you spit in someone's face, what's going to happen?
There's a repercussion.
Milliseconds later, not this time, tomorrow. You will get beaten upon right now. And so I would never do that. Or if I did, I would not be surprised when they countered with whatever they do. And that's why there's all these women doing all this, and then they're yelling what's going on when they're being tackled to the ground, or they're just standing in front of a 5,000-pound SUV thinking they could stop it with their feminine powers.
They don't know about accountability.
So nerds and women do not do rough and tumble play. They play video games where they get to be heroes slaying dragons from a beanbag chair. All right. Texas, February 27th, 28th, 2 shows each night at Hyenas out there in Texas. You go to adamcarolla.com. Adam Yenzer's got dates. Very funny stand-up comedian, March 4th and 5th, Snappers, Fort Myers, Florida. And you can go check out his YouTube page, YouTube show. The Canceled News is where you'd find Adam as well. Good job, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
And until next time, Adam Carolla, Adam Yenzer saying mahalo.